slow.
It's going.
What
See, we're here.
inappropriate conversation.
We're here.
Oh,
We're
that's
here.
cool.
It didn't start off like Todd with saying he had a piss shiver, but hi, we're here. I'm Aphi, and this is the Vactaire. Welcome to Spooktober, episode whatever we're on right now. 4? I don't know.
Yes.
3 or 4.
This is number 4.
Whatever. It's fine. I can math. We're only playing like a math game. Whatever. So just a couple
Why you
things
have me?
before we get started. Our sponsor tonight is Canadian Dice. Yay! You can go to canadiandice.ca and use the code TheVactaire for 10% off your dice purchase. That is again TheVactaire, all one word. And 10% off. Some pretty clickety clackety math rocks. What more can you want? 20% off, I guess, but whatever. Got to do what we got to do.
Make it happen, Ryan.
Make it happen, Ryan. We want 20% off.
Just kidding.
Do it. Do it. Right now. I'm waiting. Sorry. I'm okay. So, as I said, this is Spooktober for Extra Life. And if you don't know what Extra Life is, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, Extra Life is a charity organization that works with the Children's Miracle Network, getting together supplies, equipment, and gaming stuff for pediatric wards across the US and Canada. They are amazing. You can go to our team page, and it features all of our guest DMs that have signed up. Cedar. And you can donate there by picking one of the DMs off the roster and throwing money at them. Our goal is $1,000. We are over halfway there already, which is amazing. So we may end up having to do extras. But there are actually 2 prize packs being given away. One for the DM that raises the most money, and another for a random donator. So if you donate, you are automatically entered into the prize draw. You will receive a Vactaire t-shirt, magnets, stickers, and a copy of Crawl of Cthulhu from Even Footing Games. Not sponsored, but we love them, so that's why that's here. And, it's Halloween. It's fitting. Put that back in there for safekeeping so I don't get my hands all over it. Alrighty. So this week as well, we have Prep or Die tomorrow night on Goodman Games Official. We have the wonderful Jay, aka Swole Initiative. We have Cedar the Barefoot. And somebody else that was announced today, and I can't remember what it is, but it was something like I Sneeze Stars. I don't know. Something like that. I just saw it briefly while I was working, so I don't have all the data, but yeah, I Sneeze Stars. I think. Don't quote me. We also have this week, crap, I put your thing away, Fixius 5 on Friday at 8 o'clock right here. That is with DM Artemis down there in the corner, and a couple other people in this game. Whoa, no, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And then on Sunday, we have Howl of the Carrion King over on DM Jeremy's channel. Yeah. So we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves, starting off with DM Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily, or Corvée in some form on many social media things with a Q. Usually no one else has that. So I paint miniatures, I write adventures, I am obsessed with D&D, which is why I'm running this game tonight.
Yeah.
Next.
Next up is Cedar.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cedar the Barefoot. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I also do the stuff over on the Clock app, and that's TikTok for those of you who don't know. I'm on the Instagram, on the Twitter. I'm all over the place. I exist. And tonight I'll be playing. My pronouns are they, them, their, and I'll be playing a water genasi fish merchant by the name of Bythra, whose pronouns are she, her. That's all you get.
All right. Sounds awesome. Artemis.
So I'm Artemis, and I'm the content coordinator and social media manager for the Vactaire, and basically just live here all the time now. And I will be playing Dolow, who is the gnome cleric, Twilight Domain. And yeah, she's tiny and full of sass. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens once we actually start.
Probably the group mom again.
Shut up! No.
And then we have two new faces to the Vactaire, playing Skath and Domitanus. Maybe Dom. We'll go with Dom, like Dom Tarantino. We're good. And they are from Tabletop Misfits. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Sure. So I'm James, the GM over at Tabletop Misfits. We run weekly D&D adventures, and we have a talk show every week where we bring special guests in to hang out and talk D&D because that's what everybody does nowadays, and it's a lot of fun. I'm going to be playing Skath, the Furbolg blood hunter. As we'll find out what kind of blood hunter as we go, but the 9-foot Furbolg sounded like a lot of fun. So,
Right. And Austin?
Yes, I'm Austin. I'm also one of the Tabletop Misfits. I'm done a lot of behind the scenes work. In our first season, I was one of the players on camera there. Did a little bit this past season with Plots in Darkenhaven. Huge success, a lot of fun. Just a big D&D fan. Involved with Adventurers League for a long time. So if anybody says, "Hey, we have a seat at the table," I come running. But tonight I will be playing Domitanus, Domworks, who is an Owlin Artificer, Armorer, actually. So the opposite of blowing things up.
All right.
A little bit pompous, a little bit, but
A little bit.
we'll make it, I promise.
We can deal with a little bit of pompous. And again, I am DM Aphi. This is my shit. Welcome to my shit. Thank you all for joining me in my shit. And I'll be playing Inana, who is a Harengon Artificer Alchemist. Because party balance, we give no fucks. All right, Emily.
Embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos. Let chaos reign. Go ahead, Em. Take us away.
Yeah, critical role. Okay. I'm going to start playing some music. Your characters would not be aware of this, but the world you inhabit has existed for only approximately 537 years. This planet, Benkar, is your home, more specifically the island continent of Olinis, and even more specifically than that, the coastal city of Ulfrey. You do know this city was founded 132 years ago, a settlement split off from another further to the east. But you are aware of almost nothing else beyond this island, its various ecosystems, and the smaller uninhabited sister island of Island. Your city is surrounded by track roads, crisscrossing a sunken valley sloping down out of the large ridge of mountains that fills almost all of the skyline from the west, arcing across the north and extending all the way to the eastern shore. To the south is the freshwater ocean your city sits on, the Islinden Ocean, said to be a gift from the gods to assist your otherwise relatively dry and rocky homeland. For as long as you can remember, and even before that from what you've heard, there have been lights in the sky far off to the south. Sometimes the lights are strong enough to reach the skies over Ulfrey, shimmering in faint green, gold, and pink ribbons. For the Earth folk listening in, think of this as Benkar's version of the Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights. On Earth, these lights, along with their northern counterparts, the Aurora Borealis, are created when solar energy interacts with our magnetic poles. But in Olinis, the priests say these lights lead to a portal that opens into a beautiful land filled with lush green forests, abundant fields, where everything is balanced in elemental harmony and where the gods are waiting for you to welcome you with open arms. Of course, it is far, far away across the sea, a journey that only the spirit can make once it has been liberated from the body. Your culture has only ever been able to make small vessels like canoes to travel along the coast, or even go as far as Island, where you grow many crops. There's nothing so well made as to last such a long journey as that, at least until now. In recent years, the 5 priests leading the city of Ulfrey have felt called by the gods and guided by their visions to spearhead a project to build a boat much larger, sturdier, and more agile than any vessels you would have used previously. And this is in order to send a small team of renowned warriors and magical specialists to find a more direct way to reach the gods out there in the distance beyond the sea. And so for many long months, the various craftspeople in the city have spent their time building a ship of sorts, perhaps small to our standards here in the real world, and certainly very rudimentary looking compared to the big sailing ships we see in movies. Imagine a rough little wooden ship, coated in tar to help resist the water, packed with supplies and materials for repairs, finally rigged up with a contraption, a large wood and brass ring, elevated up about 3 feet off the ground, set with a large polished opalescent stone that glows with golden light, and aligned and mounted to the deck in such a way as to facilitate both movement and navigation by magical means. With that final installation, the day arrived for you to set sail, which you did with much fanfare. For 2 weeks now, you've been cruising along the wide, flat ocean, eating fish and enjoying the surprising constant of fair weather. The farther you have gone, the more you've seen the lights in the sky, until you realize you're seeing them not just at night, but during the day as well. You realize you must be getting close to something. Not only are there bright ribbons of light in the sky, but they now noticeably seem to have a current, a direction that they're flowing. And there's an increasingly bright beam of vertical light on the horizon. You sail toward it for another day and night until the bright light is nearly encompassing the field of view in front of you. Find yourselves approaching some kind of rift or portal here, just as you were told you would. It's a celestial doorway, and the ribbons of light are being sent out and away from the massive line of light ahead of you, spilling out of this rift and into the wide world as if heaven itself was leaking into the material plane. And as you come upon this rift, I would like you all to describe your characters. Who would like to go first?
Austin goes. I'll go. It's fine. I'll go.
I mean, that's fine. If you want me to go, I can go. That's fine.
So Inana is a smallish, but not actually small in the D&D terms. She's about 4'3", hair and gone, brown fur, very tall ears that are all kind of pierced up the sides. There's lots of scars, like there's one right across her nose and her cheeks, arms, hands, legs, just covered in burn scars, broken glass scars, just hot mess. But you know, the fur kind of covers it a little bit, except, you know, when the wind blows in just a certain way and it kind of like poofs out and you can see the scar. Full leather armor, bottles of varying types, all kind of like hanging off her belt, in her backpack. She basically clinks whenever she walks. Probably super safe way of carrying a bunch of random bottles of whatever they may be. And you've noticed her playing a lot with fire.
That's safe.
Who'd like to go next?
I'll go. So yeah, Dolow is she's a forest gnome. She's super tiny, and she's got sort of long brown hair that she keeps sort of tied up, and she's wearing chainmail and carries a sword and shield. And the most noticeable thing about her is that where her irises should be is just a field of stars.
Nice.
Nice.
Hot.
Creepy, but nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, a little interesting. No, Skath is a very tall, gray-skinned furbog with a very clean-cut beard and long brown hair that groups down into a ponytail. He wears mostly the pirate's garb, where if you every once in a while, if the move the right direction or not, you'll see a shimmer underneath the leathers. He, for the most part, stays outside and has an issue with, and has this sensitivity to just being nervous.
All right, 2 left. Who's next? Or more like, who wants to go last, really?
I mean,
Roll off.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right?
High or low,
Roll,
Austin?
Roll.
Low.
Low? Okay, I'll take high.
14.
45.
Ooh.
That sounds like low to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I suppose that means I have to go now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This evening I am playing Domitanus. Domitanus is an Owlin armorer, artificer, little bit pompous. Doesn't believe that he's smarter than everyone else, but most for sure. Very, very ordinary in the visual of an owl. Big brown tawny feathers, little bit streaks of black around the face. Nothing extraordinarily special. The eyes are, of course, massive, gold rimmed, and in the right reflection of light, they appear to glow. But that's just if they catch light incorrectly. They don't actually. Not crazy large, barely medium sized, barely. So we're approaching that like 4-foot mark. Big bird, but not gigantic.
Not big bird, not like Big Bird.
Not bright yellow and sings or anything.
I
You're
said
saying you
not,
don't
not
sing?
terribly like special.
What did I come here for if you're not going to sing as an
like
If I'd
like
have known that
horribly
was an option,
ordinary.
I would have had a costume. Okay, all right. I would have been Big Bird on.
You could have. Oh my god.
That'd been amazing,
Little twitchy
actually.
feather ears. Hello. Bythra is a water genasi. So water genasi are typically described as being water-faring elves / djinn. So they're Bythra has these almost comically large finned ears that just they works, but they're definitely very overlarge. She's got this long black hair that's just like tugged into these really tight braids that are kind of, you know how like if you go swimming with your braids in and it gets all fuzzy afterwards or whatever. She's definitely been in and out of the water this entire time. She's got I didn't mean to pick another character that had shark teeth. I didn't mean to pick another character that had shark teeth, but she had teeth like this beforehand. She was alive before Athelstan for me, so don't at me. She's got these like really, really bright, sparkly ocean blue eyes, and her skin is that of like a cerulean blue, deep and saturated with hints of like an azure. And she's wearing what seems to be what probably was once a pretty nice dress of like a minty kind of green, maybe, or like a mint teal kind of, but it's just the bodice now, and she's crafted trousers, and you can see very obviously sewn on patches all over her trousers. So like patches all she's own
So,
them a
like,
while.
she's
Kind of scruffy. Her boots don't have toes on them anymore. They're just kind of held together by like hide and fish skin. So like she's kind of threadbare. 5 foot nothing, but very, very solid. Like unnaturally so. And I think during this entire journey, she's probably just spent most of her time like fishing and trying to cook for everybody and diving it on and off the boat and trying to make friends with the one with the fearbulg that obviously doesn't want to talk to anybody and like trying to make friends with everybody and just being that like that cousin. They're small, they're sweet, they're adorable. She's terribly dim. She's got a 7 intelligence, let's just say that. But she's really good at cooking and fishing.
Oh, that was going to be
There you
my
go.
question if the food was good.
Oh, she's amazing at cooking.
All right.
She uses like
So-
this pink butter when she's cooking her fish and makes it into like ribbons and puts them on little skewers, and it's like the best thing ever. It's delicious. And that's Bythra.
All right. Well, you finally get close enough to this clear opening, and you direct your small wooden craft directly into the center, just as you were instructed, finding yourselves completely engulfed in bright, beautiful light. You feel kind of a force of wind. The first real wind you felt on this journey. There's no moons on this planet. There's no tide. And you've kind of sensed the tingle of magical energy in the air. The light continues to get brighter around you, and it's not long before you are absolutely blinded. The air around you seems to compress in on you. Your limbs are pressed down against you, and you're unable to move as you feel drawn out and stretched, impossibly thin, like dough being pulled out into noodles. And all the while, there is this sound. And it's getting louder and louder and louder. A kind of ripping, tearing. And what feels like the very fabric of reality. And in that instance, you start to wonder for the very first time if the priests made a mistake. As the light overtakes your senses and the sound drowns out your screams of fear and pain shoots through your bodies. And then there's just nothing for a moment. There's no light, no sound, no sensation of any kind, except a dull ache that feels like it is both in your body and outside it, just everywhere. This feels like it lasts for hours, or maybe it's seconds, you're not sure, until you begin to try to blink, your eyes start to adjust, and eventually you manage to pull yourselves up into a sitting position, not really knowing how much time has actually passed. The first thing you notice is the ship, or rather, the pieces of it scattered all around you in bits, with bright flecks of metal and stone glinting in among the splinters. The second thing you notice is the sound, which returns as your ears recover from whatever just happened to you. And it continues as a roar, that same ripping sound. Though it's not as loud as it was when you were moving through it. And you finally see why this sound exists. In the distance is that same rift, just as bright on the horizon as it was before. But though it looks familiar, it is much wilder from this side. First of all, this seems to be the only source of light in this place, casting brilliant shadows and leaving anything beyond a certain radius in a dim light. The sky above you is a deep blood red color. And surging through it far above your heads are columns of fire and stone and water and fierce hurricane winds just pouring out from the beam of light on the horizon. It is as though the world was passing itself through this portal and rending itself apart to be sorted into its most basic material components. The ground around you is cracked, and you can feel it still cracking actively, with the occasional loud pop as it shifts and shudders. You can tell it's never fully stable, and it is dark, black and gray and bleak looking. There are no plants here that you can see, and there's no sun, and there are no stars. Around you, you just see ridges of stone gradually sinking down in more and more dangerous-looking steps toward the rift. This is not what you were told to expect. This is not the beautiful garden you imagined, that you were promised. But this is where you are. And as you take all of this in, we begin our game. So what would you like to do?
I didn't do it.
Who's not dead? Sound off.
Again,
You're all
I
alive.
didn't do it. I didn't do
You're
it.
sore, but you haven't taken any damage.
I
You're
can
just
barely hear a
really
thing.
achy.
That explosion was not me. I'm just putting that out there.
I think I swallowed too much seawater.
But there's no.
Is that really a thing? You can swallow too much?
You can swallow too much seawater. The salt will take over your body and you will dehydrate and hallucinate to death. It is very
I just
painful.
reach over and
Fantastic
pinch
to
you on the
hear.
elbow.
Ow!
You're not dreaming.
I never said I was dreaming.
Hallucinating.
You're not doing that either.
Where are we?
We've been shoreward slammed.
What?
I do not care for this, no. The ground is in the up.
Ground's underneath us, honey.
So in the up.
There are like huge boulders and stuff flying overhead.
Okay.
She like hops up as like one part of the stone beneath her starts sinking. She's like,
It shifts a little and then stops.
Don't care for this at all. Well, I don't think we can go back that way.
are you
Prefer
sure?
not to?
Feel free to throw yourself through this veil that is before us.
Is that the one we came through?
I assume.
Then I do not want to go back in there. I feel as if my butt is where my head should be.
I was gonna say
And my
it is,
spleen.
but that just seems mean.
There's like steam rising up.
Don't worry about it, darling.
I think I'm missing my spleen.
You have one of those?
Don't
I
know
don't
how
know.
the anatomy works for your kind, but I expect you have one.
Well, the alcohol has to go somewhere, or is that the liver?
The liver.
Would anybody like a snack? She like reaches into her bag.
I would like a snack, personally.
Fish stick.
Fish stick.
Spicy?
I see. I can't really taste anything over the black powder anyway.
Everybody drink water. Gotta hydrate.
I already drank and I tried gesturing because I didn't want to interrupt your narrative.
I did too, yeah.
But
I'm sorry,
nobody
I'm
saw
sorry.
me.
You did.
I did.
I just
Like
drank
after the
now,
fact,
I'm like-
and I was like, oh yeah, sorry.
Carry on.
What are we supposed to do?
I'm guessing figure out a way home because our vessel appears to be.
It's over there, and up there.
Do I smell
Thank you,
anything
Ahmed.
strange?
Make a perception check. I think you get advantage,
Oh,
or is
yeah.
that only when you're...
Oh yeah.
Okay. because reasons.
$21.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. You smell a lot of things. None of them are necessarily bad. It's not like you don't smell rot. You don't smell like poison. You don't smell like there's no bad smells. It's like mineral. There's a little bit of like that kind of like brimstone-y, but it's not super strong.
Smells like farts.
And it's like further away. That's like, you know, the things flying through the sky. There's like fire. There's stones and water. It all has a very like outdoors kind of smell.
So my question would
That
be: is
makes
would I be able to
sense.
smell something in the case of like if I was in a cave and I was trying to find my way out, trying to smell for that opening, something that's more fresh, nothing so grim.
At this point, no.
Okay,
But not where you are right now.
that's fine.
This is volcanic rock, and we must go upward to find the updraft.
I mean, I could
What?
pick you up, but I don't know if that would help.
I can pick you up.
I mean, I can do up if that's the goal, but do we see anything above us that even looks like that's a way out, or is it just boulders and vortex?
That, yeah.
That.
It
I
looks
smile
like
something
absolute elemental chaos
like absolute elemental chaos
in the sky.
in the sky.
And behind it, it's just like this dark red. There doesn't seem to be any portals that way. There's no clouds. There's no light up there. All the light is coming from that portal you came through, and it looks very far away from where you are right now. So you flew quite a distance.
Do we
Is
head
it the
back, or do
sky,
we
Bythra?
continue to head the other direction?
Bythra like picks up a rock, like tosses it up and down a couple of times, and then just hucks it towards the beam.
Make an athletics check.
I will. 27.
Oh shit.
You
Big
throw
fuzzy
it real
dice never
far.
fail me.
You throw this stone super far. And you throw it really hard. And when it hits the ground about a half a mile away, and lands, you see a whole shelf of rock go and kind of like collapse on itself.
Okay, we definitely should not go that way. And she turns around and starts marching the other way.
I guess we're going this way.
Hold on. Like,
She like
do the
skids.
giant feathers.
Run into her
I'm
back.
just gonna reach
sounds
out.
of
I'm just
glass
gonna reach
clinking
out and
together.
grab the scruff of her coat and hold her back, because I don't know if we look the other way if that thing's gonna do the same thing.
Does the ground? Yeah, is the ground doing the same thing where she just walked?
No, it's a little bit more stable up here. It almost looks like a crater, and the rift is at the center.
Okay.
The ground, as you get higher up, as you like climb shelves, seems to look more stable. But there's still cracks, but it's not like disintegrating like it is in the distance.
Don't step on a crack or you'll break your mama's back.
I
that was
purposely step
awful.
on every single crack that I can find.
Don't do that, you'll break your mother's back.
She probably deserves it.
I would like to spread my wings and take off
Sure.
to where I can see just over the edge. I don't want to like come all the way out of the hole, but we're playing like sneaky whack-a-mole here. I just want to look to see if I can notice anything around us that says definitely go that way or definitely don't go that way. Either
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I'll say as you get higher up, make a perception check with advantage.
Oh, wait. You should never look up when a bird is flying over you.
I don't know who told
Doesn't
you
much
that,
shit
but
in
I'm not
your
entirely
face.
sure that's accurate.
I learned that the hard way.
That does not
With
surprise me.
advantage too.
More than once.
Of course.
So carry the 2. That's a 6.
Supposed to be good luck.
Carry the
advantage?
2.
Well, let's see. You
What did you
get
roll?
up pretty high. Is it like a 1 and a 2?
It was a 2 and a 3.
Oh, okay, not much better. That's a shame. You get up, and I mean, do Allens have dark vision?
Of course. I should know the answer
I mean,
to that
they
question.
should, but
I feel
Yeah,
yes.
but
They
so
don't
should
give
cats,
Yes, we do.
and they don't.
Absolutely.
An owl.
If we don't, I'm filing a formal complaint.
right? They don't give cats dark vision in D&D, so
Well, that's stupid,
You
and
just
I don't
never
play
know.
that way. Oh, that's Bythra talking. That's dumb, and I don't play that way.
you get up pretty high, and you're looking around. Once you get over the edge, it's pretty flat, but it's also just barren. There's like rock formations, kind of, you think. But it's dark, like black rock. There's no plants up here either. It's just kind of nothing. It's kind of craggy.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
How far away is he?
How far did you fly up?
Just high enough to get to the edge. So
Oh, so
I
like
mean,
maybe 20 feet up, just to be able to like peek over. Because the ground kind of slopes, and then there's like these like craggy steps.
it
Is
looks
there
as
any
if
sort
the
of
ground would
structure
be.
in the distance that we can see silhouettes of that can kind of give us any sort of understanding if there's anything around?
Yeah, you are like at story tall. All you have to do is
Yeah,
jump.
Yeah, that's
7.5 feet tall here.
I flew
Um,
up to get to his eye level. Like
Yeah, there you go. I'll say you can make a perception check as well.
It's
With
not the
for
one I
sight
need.
this
Sight doesn't
time.
help me as much.
Did you say that it was dim light where we
Although-
are?
It is dim light.
What?
You're far enough away from the radius of light that this rift gives off that it's pretty gloomy where you are.
Dim light, not dim genasi.
Oh,
Although you have one of those too.
We do.
are we talking about
17.
me?
17.
No.
You don't see any structures. It's really not much more than what you were told from your friend, unfortunately, even though he rolled a 6. There's not a lot of, it's like kind of precarious looking climb to get up on top of it, just because of the nature of it's like sharp rocks and everything's kind of broken. But there's no like scrub, there's no structures or cities that you see. You don't know if that would change if you went around or if you kept going away. But where you are at the moment, it is pretty nothing. I will say with a 17, as you're kind of looking around in this area, because you also have a really high passive perception, you see kind of clusters of like floating glowing orbs. You're not really sure what they are. They're kind of far off. It's something else that's giving off some kind of light.
You look over and Bythra's like clinging to the edge next to you, and she's like, "Would you like to borrow my spyglass?
Do you have a spyglass?
It's in my fishing equipment. I have a
That checks
fishing
out.
pole too.
They might be dim, but they've got skills.
They do.
You have.
I'm sorry,
You
did you
have
say
to.
you had a
You
fishing
can never
pole?
leave home without the right equipment."
Which would have come in handy while you were sailing here.
Well, at least we know that if I have to fly somewhere and you can't see me, we can just attach the fishing pole to me and you can bring me back.
I could do that.
Yeah.
My line is super strong. I have hauled in sharks with it.
Not that.
Sand sharks, not as much though.
Should we continue at least under? I'm a little afraid the ground underneath us here is unstable, and I would rather not fall, as it might not be that much of a big deal for me, but you all have less appendages.
I can have more.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
I can.
All right.
I'm not very sure it
Perhaps
would
not
help.
right now. Let's just
Okay.
walk and keep the rift at our back.
She undoes. She the spyglass and looks around.
It's backwards. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's really thin.
You
She's
know how to use it.
she's like. She does it
The
every
gate's
time.
getting so far.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
so
pick
I
up
would-
a couple of rocks.
I would at least
I'll grab
move.
the spyglass and just turn it for.
I'm gonna pick
or-
up a couple rocks and just do some non-magical tinkering for some dim light. So 5-foot radius of bright, 5 foot beyond that for dim. And
Okay.
just because it looks like it's dark, and
Is
it might
that-
be a good thing. Here you go.
is that-
Does any of our party
is
not
that-
have dark vision?
I feel like on the there's fish with lantern, and then fish go to the lantern, and then the fish eats the fish at the lantern.
So that said, you're holding the lantern, correct?
I'm not. No.
You're holding
No.
the glowy stone that I just gave you. Therefore, you are the anglerfish, and you will eat whoever comes to you.
What if something bigger comes for the lantern?
Then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Where's the bridge?
Oh, for fuck's sake. We will deal with that issue once it arises.
All right, so
Just
you're
take the fucking
creating-
rock.
Okay.
You're creating light with these little stones.
Yeah, it's only 10 feet. Like, it's not
She
Now
like
with the
puts
gravity?
puts it in her mouth and smiles, just like
like a glow
she's
stick.
she's like Dolow, Inana, look.
That's great, sweetie.
You're doing so good, sweetie. Bless your heart.
And you're all talking about moving away from the rift, or moving with the rift to your back.
We should leave a
Yeah.
mark.
I point at the giant rift. That's our mark.
But what
I
if
thought that
it
was
turns
where
off?
we were leaving, not going.
I don't think it's gonna turn off anytime soon.
What if
Just come on, and I start like shuffling Bythra up the slope, out of the
don't
thing.
push? You're gonna rip my pants again.
I didn't rip your pants the first time.
I know, but they will rip again. They always do.
Well, I'll fix them in that case.
Well, I can fix them. I'm very good at it. And you just all her whole backside is just more patches.
Yes, you are.
Is there anything on the ground that resembles a shell or something of nautical variety?
Do you need a shell? I have a
Ooh.
shell. I have many shells.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess
Elbow deep in her bag, like.
if I have some, you would be able to use those.
So,
You can use it, make big noise.
I was going to use it to make small noise for you in particular.
Okay.
I would like to use my magical tinkering to imbue a tiny non-magical object. It is going to keep emitting a very low sound of like rolling waves, very calm sea coming off of this shell. And I would
Nice.
like to hand it back to Bythra. When you hear the seas get rough, please alert us, but I need you to listen very carefully.
What happens when the sea gets rough? How'd you fit it in there?
We come to the bridge that we discussed earlier. Go on,
Oh.
pay attention to it.
Just kind of look over at Dom, like, as the other person of
Nothing to
very
do.
high intelligence in this party. Like,
So
Keep
funny.
them controlled.
This isn't
Have
bad.
very good hearing. How loud is loud?
you'll know.
Okay.
I'm then going to
Louder than-
walk directly in
louder
front
than
of
you're hearing
Bythra.
now.
She like clicks it
Just so
onto her
you-
ear.
So, like, if you're looking down at the shell, you're not going to trip and fall over things. And if you
Yeah.
do, there's something soft, but, like, you're fine.
Yeah. She just like clicks it onto her ear, like,
Nice.
we agree, so we go.
Have we found anything that we're heading toward yet? Or are we still just kind of meandering through whatever
I think
this
we're
is?
heading away from something.
We're just going
rather
away
than
from the
towards.
rift.
Away
Right.
from the rift.
Do we want to
Yes.
walk in a straight line? I can calculate that.
Periodically, if we have, like, floating boulders above us, I would love to kind of fly and perch and see if I can see anything through these shifting rocks, anything in the
Ooh.
distance.
It just like turns when he like.
Interesting.
Like hanging off the bottom of
I'm
it.
just waiting for the first boulder to just whap. I was like, oh
Oh,
crap.
it's going to
It's
eat
just
me.
fall and land on you.
The boulders are mimics.
Okay.
Stop
Oh.
giving her ideas.
I'm going to
Please don't.
say
I'm avoiding the one that looks fuzzy because it's nope.
It's
That is a nope rock.
Mhm.
avoid
It's
the one
just
that has
not.
10 eyes. No.
It's that scene from Trolls where everything keeps getting eaten by something bigger. Like, I'm not doing that.
Oh, this is my favorite song.
Okay. I'm going to say, when you get up on one of these rocks, make a dexterity check to make sure you can hold on,
That's
because
what we're
they're
doing.
like whipping through the air.
The comets.
I thought they were just like floating along.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like
Yeah, I was
Floating
not.
rocks,
I
not-
mean, from where
not
you are on the
fireballs
ground,
coming
they
around.
look floaty.
All right,
Fair.
that's fair. Okay,
It's not
well,
that high of a DC.
that's a good thing. 13.
Oh, okay, you're fine.
Ugh.
You kind of managed because you have like Nolan have like taloned feet, right?
Yeah.
So you're able to grab on pretty well, and you are up very high in the air. And I'm gonna say, make either a survival check or a nature check.
Let's do nature. I like that. Oh, yes.
I have
Absolutely.
added it to my
28.
character.
Sweet. You see, well, behind you, you see all this stuff coming from the rift. And above you, there's this like blank, kind of deep red sky. And ahead of you, all of these elements, because it's all over. It's not just a single stream. It's like the whole sky is filled with these different like rocks and like flame, gusts of like whipping wind, water, like jets of water. And ahead of you, you see very clearly that they're all kind of separating out.
So is it
And-
coming from the rift going outward, or is it coming back towards the rift?
It's coming from the rift going outward.
Okay, so everything is firing at us at the moment.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So it's like the
But it
opposite of the world we just
seems-
came out of.
I guess
Where,
the
like,
best way to
everything
think about
is-
it would turn on a fire hose and just it's coming outward.
You
It
turn on the fire hose,
seems
it's actually
like-
fire.
I mean, there's that too, yes.
I'll say too, like ahead of you, you can see there's like a point of no return where the rock that you're standing on is going to join up with a whole bunch of other rocks and solidify, and you can't see through that up there back down to where you were. Right now, it's still spread out and kind of floating along.
Forgive me if I
But-
misinterpreted this description. I'm getting the idea of like if I were Mario, there's all of a sudden like one of those brick levels above us where the rocks are like convalescing on like a secondary level, or just in the distance the rocks are like
it's more
returning
like-
to normal.
In the distance, they're returning to normal. It looks
Okay.
like solid ground, maybe a mile ahead of you.
I'm getting an inside, what is it, inside out vibe when they do the imaginary little form where you go from nothing to just
Oh yeah.
starting to rebuild everything.
Seeing that and questioning my existence from being next to whatever that is up there, I'd like to return back to the group.
Yeah.
I believe we're heading the right direction. It appears that the ground becomes more, I'm afraid to use the word normal here, but more like we're accustomed to.
More
not
like
too far
ground?
ahead.
More
I
ground.
will
Ground,
say,
ground does ground things, yes, up ahead.
Ground is ground.
I
Okay.
will say, so where you were is like way up high in the sky, and up there the ground was becoming like solid ground, like brown dirt, stone. You could see kind of like rocky parts in the distance. You rolled really high. Off to like the right several miles, it's just lava. Off to the left several miles in the distance, it's like almost looks like an ocean. So like when you came back down, it's still all that like dark black rock. It is getting more solid where you guys are, but it's not. There's like levels.
Not using the word ocean at all. But I will say lava that way. Can't really tell what's that way, but I believe in front of us probably resembles dirt, something more safe.
Yes, but it was like above.
Was there
How
like,
far
like
above are
steps
we
to get up there?
talking? Like, is
Or
it,
was
yeah.
No.
It was a different level. So
Yes.
we're on this level, and that was like up here.
I could throw someone.
Are we supposed to get up there? I can get up there.
And we're talking like a ways, so not like
Yeah,
dangle
it was
ropes
very
from the
far in the
platform.
distance that it was starting to.
I'm afraid I don't have much in the way of direction other than I believe continuing forward is our best bet for now.
Do you want to borrow my sextant?
You all come from a culture that worships gods that represent the elements and light. When you were up on this higher level, you felt like, I mean, I can kind of, I guess, in D&D terms almost, because we're all smart people and it's a one-shot. That was shifting. That was shifting into another dimension up there.
Primordial
we're
dimension.
Purgatory, and these are the
Yes.
realms of element.
Yeah.
Purgatory.
Or
So,
astral sea and other terms.
A fire plane would be that way. The earth plane would be up there. The nondescript thing we are not mentioning would be in the other direction.
What are we talking about?
Bananas.
I do like bananas.
I know.
Get your shell. Get your shell.
I'm listening.
And
It's not changing.
and so what the level that you are on below all of that is just still dark, nondescript, no plants. As you keep walking, the sky starts to turn like gray.
Do I
Can I
see
do my
Like
best to sketch
literally
this?
the primordial soup.
Painter's tools.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
it.
I'm kind of curious is how what is the like gravitation on here? Like, do we feel normal or is this more
It
lighter? Do I feel like I can jump a lot higher than I normally can? Like,
it feels normal. It feels normal in terms of gravity. It feels normal. There is kind of a malaise about the place. It's a little bit depressing. It's a little bit. There's like no color.
Are we
Behind
still
you
in
there's
color?
color because there's like all of the elements coming through. There's fire, there's the rift. But ahead of you, as you're walking away from the rift, it's just gray and black.
It's because we can see in the dark.
It's shades of gray.
Even
we
the
can't.
lava?
But the only thing we can see on the ground is just nothing. Well,
It's like
dark and
dark
rock.
dirt,
Well, it
maybe
would
little
make
trickles
sense.
of water, but it doesn't look appetizing.
Some water is not appetizing. Gotta
Would
sniff
we
it first.
have? Does that rift remind us of anything maybe from like Lawless? Like we came out of a light to get here, or is that rift something that's entirely separate and that's just how we ended up here?
I mean, you were told you were going to go through some sort of portal.
Okay, so that would be at least mildly expected.
Yeah.
How's that the only normal thing that's happened today?
But you were told when you went through the portal you would find like a river, a garden, a forest, like lush plants, fruit everywhere, a gorgeous like tropical paradise.
Now, I'm curious, and this is kind of this might not work because of it being a one shot and whatnot, but has there ever been any other rumors or questions on what else could be behind there?
There have been
The one that got away.
I'll say make a history check.
Can I use my grim
Yeah.
psychometry?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Would I know anything from like religious stories?
Yeah, make a religion check.
I got a 4.
That is
That tracks.
18.
6 minus 2.
Okay.
Rolled a 25.
Okay, so we'll come to that in a minute. Start with the 4.
Work our way up.
Bythra, I mean, you have heard stories from some of the other fishermen about like weird places,
The sea is weird.
dark underwater places,
Trenchy.
weird like folk tales, mermaids capturing people.
Typical
This doesn't
man.
seem like that kind of place.
It's boring.
Yeah.
I do agree.
History check.
It's not very
18.
fertile.
You would know that there are. So, the city that you're from is ruled by 5 priests. Each priest is dedicated to one of the 5 gods, and they do these like rituals, especially when the lights are strong, where they drink this stuff called ether mead and have visions. You know that there are lower level priests who have in training that have had other visions of other places, less nice places.
Gone to
But
those
for the
parties.
most part, historically, the 5 priests have all agreed, have all like jointly shared these visions of this like wonderful kind of heavenly place, so that you like go when you die, and your like spirit follows the lights in the sky, basically. Most of the lower level priests that had those kind of weird visions of other places that were less happy, they were either trained away from that or kind of sent to do other tasks.
All right. Well, those would be the people I would have speaking to because I wouldn't live in the city.
Yeah.
I would have lived mostly in the heights. So
Yeah. Yeah, you probably would have interacted with some of the people that either left because they were viewed as kind of kooky, because of some of their ideas, about what
Called my-
exists out there.
They called my brother Kooky.
He might have known some of these stories.
Maybe he came here.
Dolow, your religion check was like
A million.
It was a
25 or
25.
something.
I rolled a
25.
19.
So you would know all of that too because you're like in it. I'll say you also would have done some of this like training with Ethermead to follow kind of like guided visions, trying to seek out what the gods want you to do, what kind
Why
of
her eyes are all messed up.
what kind of like crops to plant, where to go fishing, like all of this stuff has just been part of your culture. You have known, like, you have never had these kind of terrifying, weird, like, visions of strange places, but you know someone who has, and they just kind of played it off as a bad batch of Ethermead. Like, maybe they reacted poorly to a drink, and they would need to take like a smaller cup next time or have someone there to guide their vision to make sure they were asking the right questions, following the right lines of inquiry in order
It's
to
always
get to
good to
the
have
answers they
somebody
want.
with you when you're tripping.
Exactly.
I imagine that she didn't really like.
Last time my boat ran away.
I imagine that she didn't really like when they said that they had a negative vision, but they didn't really like believe it. She probably didn't really believe them.
Yeah, probably. But as you're here now, you're like recalling these things. You're recalling some of these descriptions of like blasted barren landscapes. And like the place where you're from is also kind of a blasted barren place. You have to grow your crops on a separate island because it's all rocky, and like mountainous. So you could have assumed that they were talking about home.
Or do we just continue, or do we just stand here?
Oh, we stopped? Bythra didn't stop.
Bythra! Bythra, get back here.
What?
Come here.
Okay.
As you're walking, you start,
Don't step on.
you see like ahead of you another one of those clusters of glowing orbs. There's about 8 of them. Not that big. Kind of floating 2 or 3 feet off the ground.
I hold on to Bythra's arm before she gets wise and starts trying to poke the balls.
About like
May I
100 feet
investigate
off.
them as I see Bythra being gently guided away from whatever the heck that
Her
is?
pupils are like this big, like
Sure.
Like
You
a
said you wanted
cat.
to
Help it, they're
go.
so beautiful.
You wanted to go investigate it.
I do. I would like to see if I know anything of what's going on here. If it's
Okay.
could be completely foreign, because clearly we have no idea where we're at.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So it's about 100 feet
Investigation.
away.
Okay.
Are you going all the way up to them?
I don't like that question,
I
but I
am
said I
the
was going to do that, so I guess I'm going to do that.
I am the angler.
Make an investigation check.
While he's doing that, can I try to recall any sort of undead fiend or fae that I would think of that might be these balls of light? Since I know we are kind of walking into an area
Sure.
that's supposed to be the
You think they
afterlife.
could be Willie?
If you let me get all the way up to these things and then yell, "It's Mothra," and it eats me, we're fighting in the afterlife.
Um,
It could be Willie. Sometimes they
Willie?
go by Billy.
Am I supposed to know who Willie is? Is the DM?
Cyber.
They're
I
over
think
there
Willie
and
was
they're
the
over
brother
there.
that we thought was kooky.
Oh, is it
I
the
rolled an
brother?
18.
No, that's
Um,
Dario.
Sorry,
Oh,
got
that's right. 18.
Yeah,
Um,
plus 9. Got an 18.
how
Not
do
well,
you
not for me.
investigate these as you're kind of looking them over?
Oh, you're getting close.
For some
Don't
reason,
lick it. You are the lantern.
I would like to look. First of all, I want to see if they are like solid. Do they appear to be made out of something as if like, I don't know, rock themselves, or are they completely transparent? Are they just floating statically? Do they look kind of like those like the electricity orbs where if like you put your finger on it, the beam kind of like that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Just general texture of what we're looking at here.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay within 60 feet of Dom and
Okay.
kind of tap into his brain space with telepathy. So we can talk
Okay.
back and forth even at 60 feet.
I don't know if anyone perceived, but Bythra picked up a rock and she did a submariner and rolled a 26.
Hey, what is that? A submariner?
Would not
Softball
notice
pitched it.
the missile coming at me.
Great,
The
great.
half a
Oh
mile.
no, she's
that
not
she
going to
threw
hit
it earlier.
you.
No.
Are you
She's gonna
throwing
hit
it at the
Sketh
orb?
She's
Bomb.
throwing it straight at at the orb, isn't she?
What did you roll, you said?
26!
Enough.
Great,
She's got a +8 to athletics.
great.
And game over.
Well, you had a
Yeah,
chance to
I'll
stop her.
I was holding your arm.
Oh, okay. Well, you can have her roll to stop me then. Or just say something, because I can stop.
Yeah, if you want to
Bythra.
roll to...
Hmm?
What
She's
are
got
you-
like one knee tucked into her chest. She's about to pitch.
No. What if it explodes?
Oh,
Yeah. Put the rock down.
can I throw it
Can I
that
hear
way?
this?
Can I throw it that way?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe over there?
As long as you don't throw it at something that is currently floating in the middle of the air.
Okay.
I'll use my 26
As
on
I
that.
hear that happening,
Just aim for a
I'm gonna
crack
do
that
the-
she jumped over last time.
I'm gonna do the owl thing, right? If I'm facing this way,
Yeah.
just
Turn your whole head around.
turn and
Big
look at
eyes.
everybody.
Yes.
I'm just gonna kind of,
Just kind of like wave them
brief
on.
nod of thanks.
I was waiting for
Go
the,
back
I
to
was
life.
waiting for the courtesy who.
Telepathically, it's like, I got you. Don't worry.
DM's like,
Oh,
so you
you're
threw the
going-
rock? Roll 46.
You're going up to this thing. It's kind of like translucent. It's about the size of, a little bigger than a basketball. And it's just kind of glowing. If you touch it, it's like squishy a little bit. And
It's a giant Orbeez.
It's a jelly
Mhm.
ball.
kind of.
Jellyfish.
As you both get within 60 feet of it, and a line of telepathy is opened,
Oh shit.
you both kind of feel in your minds. It's not words, it's like a vibe. It's like,
I'm with Inana.
Telling you
Is
to
Bythra
stop.
feeling this too? Because Inana has her arm.
close. If you're within 60 feet of this thing, then yes, you're also feeling
Yep.
this in your head. It's just a like a warning almost, like careful, stop, keep your distance.
From the squishy orb or
From
from
the
something beyond the
seemingly-
squishy orb?
It's like a deep sea invertebrate.
Seemingly this direction of the squishy orb. Kind of here, it feels like a collective of minds
Hmm.
vibing out at you.
So magic.
This is not a vibe I
Getting
appreciate.
magic.
It does seem magical. I'll say, because you rolled pretty high on a 2. These are some sort of magical form. It seems almost like a creature, but like
It's a jellyfish. Deep sea invertebrate.
kind of, but it's like
They don't need.
it's round
Yeah, deep sea
and
invertebrate.
it's just floating. It kind of like bobs there,
They do that.
as if it was on water, but there's no water.
Yeah,
Bythra, who are you talking to?
yeah. Huh?
Never mind.
Bertha's mind is just so open that she can hear the voice of God sometimes.
Yeah. It's like a jellyfish.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see maybe how magical, danger noodle magic, like what we're looking at here?
Yeah.
I think, can Bythra make a nature check to see if she
Sure.
recognizes the vibe? You know,
Sure.
from her deep sea nonsense?
Okay, that's better. 26?
Wow. Okay. How'd the nature check go?
I rolled a 7.
Amazing. Looks like a jellyfish.
The jellyfish with no tentacles. It's a deep sea bouncy ball.
Don't.
It's a
I
sponge.
know that look. Don't. You're staying right here with me.
I didn't do anything. I
You
didn't touch
got
it.
2 artificers with you. And you know that there are these creatures that can be summoned if you have the right spell that can change their shape into small little creatures or small little objects. But in their natural state, they look like kind of a floating, glowing orb.
It's Willy.
You would imagine that this is one of those, they're called a Gingwatsum, if that's how it's pronounced. I've
Gesundheit.
decided that that's how it's pronounced as the DM.
We're going
They can be allies if they are summoned with a spell chosen by a magic practitioner. You've never seen a quote-unquote wild one before. You don't know. I mean, it like vibed out for you to stop as a warning. You do know that again, it's not like super powerful. It can hurt you.
Do you think it speaks primordial?
I don't know. You want to try?
Hello!
Do the same.
She yells in primordial.
I understood that.
I don't think it speaks primordial.
Don't hear a voice or anything.
She thinks really hard. In primordial.
Actually, make a persuasion check. I think you might be the one that has the highest charisma too, so that's kind of funny.
Oh, that's not bad. 16.
Okay.
15 plus 1, 16.
Um,
Stop it, Joker. Stop it.
kind of. It's like there's a pause, and then you just kind of feel like a greeting in your head, but like kind of questioning, like, hello?
Hi! I'm Bythra.
Kind of seems unsure.
Sea Fisher, King Fisher. We hear not. Want not be here. Go home.
So as
This is all in primordial, like just in her mind.
They're bubbling back and forth, Are you making any noises, or are you just staring at it?
Oh, she tried saying it out loud, and then she tried thinking really hard. So she's just like
There's like a vein popping out.
She's
There's
like,
some farting noises.
it's like she's trying to take a dump, but it's not happening.
But we've been a party for a while now, so it's not like this would be unusual for the rest of us to see Bythra acting like this, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know there. Bad? Why bad?
Hmm.
Danger.
I slowly start to walk up, but I'm extremely cautious about this idea as they have already stopped and stared at this thing.
I think
She does like the ear twitch, like Pikachu, like. She tries to take a step forward.
I'm gonna look straight at our cleric.
uh,
Do you think we should allow them to continue?
Dolow is actually praying at the moment, so she doesn't really see what's going on.
I just like typed to you. Are you casting a spell about it? As Bria Iyengar usually says. You want to do a spell about it? Or are you just praying? Either way is fine.
Oh, I thought you typed to me. Sorry, I was confused.
Not yet.
No, because I didn't prep that one. It's just a
Okay.
regular prayer.
Gotcha. You can feel like the reassuring feeling of Lawless. And kind of a like, it's okay, it'll all be okay, but there's no answers. From these orbs, though, as you're all kind of moving closer to these, you all just hear in your head the first time you've actually had a word, Pyraddys. That's all you hear from these orbs.
What this?
Does that mean
She
anything
stops,
to any of
she
us?
stops moving forward. She stops
Oh.
moving forward.
Bad?
The mention of an actual word appearing. One of my items are the boots of the winding trail, so like 15 feet blink back away from these things as that happens, instantaneous, like a teleportation.
It's like, nope.
Back away. Nope.
Noping out. And we're backing away. The word does not mean anything to you. But you all get the feeling of like some kind of protector. You don't know protecting what or who or where. Maybe it's in this place. Maybe it's
Go
protecting
around.
the rift.
Go around. Yes?
And we feel as if these things are intelligent, but like also not. We know these exist. They could just be wild versions of these.
Yeah.
They don't
I
like us getting
mean-
closer to them.
You don't know that they are particularly intelligent, or I would say you know that they're not particularly intelligent.
Okay.
They're just kind of little critters.
If I did my little viewpoint, would I have noticed these kind of like maybe leading a certain direction, or are these kind of everywhere? Or did I even see these?
Everywhere, but they're spread out pretty far. With all of the conversing and the fact that Bythra has managed to kind of create a rapport with these things, despite the fact that they at
Just, like,
first were like, stay back.
Playing patty cake with them.
It's hard
Holy
to fill a cup that's already full.
There would be like They don't seem to travel a whole lot. You get the idea that whoever or whatever Pyraddys is maybe placed them about the place to protect it, to kind of be little magical landmines.
Go around, yes?
You get a yes.
Okay. Nice meet. Bye.
And she like starts going like she like the next light in the distance, like walking that line.
Okay.
Come on.
I gotta be honest, at this point, if she's out,
I'll be trying to keep up with her, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
hate to have her
want
wander off on
They
her
don't
own
want
by
us to
herself.
go through.
I will
There is something that they are bordering. Best
I'll
not
kick-
fuck with it.
30 feet in the air or so, just kind of watching ahead of her to see where she's
Yeah.
going and make sure nothing is like following. So just kind of, scanning above to
Just
make
Like
got
just
sure.
hops over cracks every once in a while, does like a little hopscotch.
I've still got the
Yeah.
telepathic link with
Mm.
Dom. Given the naming conventions of our deities,
Yes.
the name that we were given, I'm assuming it's a name.
Yes.
Does it kind of fall into that same sort of naming convention?
Like fire, almost.
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean,
Fire.
you
Funeral
could
pyre.
see that they might be related,
Mm-hmm.
but you've never heard of a god called Pyraddys?
Pyre? Pie. Apple pie.
God of
Fish pie.
pies.
God of pies.
Pot pie.
Yes.
I like pot pie.
That is my kind of god.
Pot pie. Pyre. Pie.
I mean,
Wrap.
you have
pyro.
a god, you have a
Fire.
deity of fire,
Funeral. Funeral pyre.
the Neldi, but
Flame.
and like
Hi.
pyro would
Fire.
kind of make you think maybe fire, but
Funeral pyre.
Could I
That's what I was
ponder
thinking,
you
'cause
don't
we don't
know.
have
that
a
religion?
we don't really have a
like
worship.
maybe to say can I ponder like the just the religion side of things, where maybe scrolling through books or flipping through pages, I would have come across something similar to at least tie that to an idea or a thought, like whether we believe it's a god of something or if it's maybe like a maybe certain sects have different names for their gods that mean slightly different
Sure.
things.
Sure. I'll say you can make a religion check, and let's have Dolow make another religion check as well.
While we're walking along, when we reach the next bouncy ball, Bythra's like, "Hi." makes a rapport with this one too.
They seem to
Can I
be
assist Dom? Like we're having like sort of a mental
yeah.
Right, like
back
maybe
and
we've
forth.
had this kind of conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
While they're doing that, I will keep a keen eye on Bythra for getting too far away
Yeah.
from the pack.
They seem to be familiar with you, Bythra. They must all have some sort of hive mind.
Hello.
23 for that.
All right.
Thank you to the
What
assist.
did you get, Artemis? You made a face.
I rolled a nat 20, so I got a 26.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm using my old man
Ooh,
rolling dice.
Rolling
Which you can get at
tonight.
CanadianDice.ca.
Great.
There you go.
Hashtag
I'm not
sponsored.
kidding you. I haven't rolled below a 15 since I got those dice.
That's freaking great. This is why you don't use it on us.
Yeah.
You're all kind of like trying to talk this out. The name is not familiar to, because there's like a sister city that's like down the coast further that you're familiar with. You don't know that they have any god that, I mean, they basically have the same gods you do. Don't know of any other areas of the island that you're from that have differently named deities. But based on kind of your knowledge of these like naming conventions and the way that these orbs kind of insisted like this is, Bythra was being like, we need to get out, basically asking for help. and the orbs said Pyraddys. You would imagine that it is a being of incredible power. You don't know if they're a god or not. It might be an unknown god. Because you've never heard of like visions of, you've heard of like kind of oddball visions of strange, disturbing places, but like you've never had any, like, there've not been any connections to a god named Pyraddys or anything like that. So it's not something your community is familiar with, but you would be able to easily assume that this is an extremely powerful being.
There's chicken pot pie,
So
turkey pot pie, shepherd's pie,
I
banana
like
pie,
fish.
yogurt pie,
the deities that we are all familiar with,
shrimp pie,
they're
Yes.
more deities of
apple pie,
good.
berry pie, raspberry.
Not necessarily. You associate them with good things, but there are also bad things that sometimes happen that you all assume is some sort of punishment or maybe bad interpretations. They're more neutral, especially since they're associated with the elements.
It's more
God that
appreciated.
is over all of them is the god of light. You do have more good, like definitively good associations with the god of light.
Pumpkin
So
pie.
would it
Yeah.
make sense then that there would be maybe gods of darkness that we don't know about?
That would be a good assumption to make.
Pie. Is Keisha pie?
It's a fancy pie.
We'll play ball.
Yes.
Quiche pie. Deep dish pizza pie.
So much is being added to my lore in just a menu.
Just a menu of
Lingonberry.
pies. So it's like a
Yes.
lot of pies.
Shrimp
Um,
pie, shrimp stew, shrimp salad.
As you are all continuing to walk, are you like kind of circling around
Yep.
the edges of
wanted
whatever
to
that
go
like,
around and
go
keep
around.
it and like get past.
Yeah, we'd be
I
skirting
mean,
the
is it
magical
like a herd of
landmines.
these little things,
She's
or
like,
is this like
every time we
a
go past
ring?
them, she's just like, hi,
They're
hello.
kind of in just like clumps.
Okay,
And
like cotton balls.
knowing what you know about them, they're relatively easy to avoid. And like obviously Bythra has made a connection to them, so she's able to kind of continue confirming, like, are we going the right direction? They're like,
6 more to
go
go.
around, go around. So you're going in a direction
Around and past.
that doesn't seem to be bad.
All right, then I'll follow Bythra.
At this point,
Double
let's
crust
see,
fruit
Skath,
pie.
your passive perception is 20
Meringue pie.
because I think you took alert
Ice
or
cream
something.
pie.
I have alert, yeah.
Fun pie.
You see ahead of you some rock formations, maybe, but they don't look jagged, like
Peach pie.
broken like the other things were
Berry pie.
in the crater. And most of like even the rocks on the ground are kind of sharp, almost like you know how obsidian and flint get that like sharp edge.
Owie.
Mm-hmm.
The ground that you've been walking on has been a lot like that. And you haven't really seen any rock formations up until now.
Is lasagna pie?
No,
Yes,
I'd
very good
consider
one.
that more of a casserole.
Is a casserole a pie?
No.
More of a cake.
Okay. Peach pie.
As you get closer to these rock formations, there's like 3 of them. Kind of off to the side.
Hydrate.
And
Large rock
Thank you.
formations, or are we talking
7, 8
Like-
feet.
okay?
Not as
so
tall
not
as
very,
you.
I was gonna say, so not large. Like we're not thinking like mountains. We're thinking like just formations that are jutting
No,
out of the
just
ground.
like these kind of like spiring forms. And you start to hear a sound that's kind of like
That's a door opening. They need to grease that.
and you and you start to see one of these mounds kind of turns a little.
Out of the rock formation or behind the rock formation?
Is it
The
the rock
actual
formation?
rock formation.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
It's moving.
Yeah.
And that might be a good time to go to break.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Mushroom pie.
Oh,
Gas station pies.
We're back.
Gas
Hello.
station pies, hand pies,
Yep.
big pies. What's in a big pie? Baked. It's all baked. Crispy.
We're just
Mushroom
gonna.
pie.
This is the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Gravy pie. I've had
We've
gravy
been,
pie.
we've been listening to
Gravy
this
pi-
for the last 5
Gravy
minutes. You know,
pie is really
they're just still
delicious,
going.
especially if you make it with salted pork.
It's just that scene in like Forrest Gump where he's going through all
That's
the
what-
different ways you can
That's where I
make
got the
for
answer.
him.
That's where I was going with it. Yeah.
James comes back. We're still going.
Ding.
I
I've
heard
been
you
great.
mention the shrimp, and then you got on the shrimp thing.
Yeah,
and then
I
you
was
went back
like
to pie.
shrimp
I'm like,
stew,
oh,
shrimp salad. Bubba carried that film. I don't care what anybody says. Bubba and Forrest.
I mean, I would hope Forrest would carry the film named
Called
after-
Forrest Gump. I know. But like, I wept. Still weep. Okay, I'm ready.
All right,
Sorry.
Emily.
Okay.
The stones have turned to look at us.
The
Yeah,
stones.
describe
Yes.
what's staring at
Yeah.
me,
He is kind of
gawking at me.
weird.
Apparently, the rocks are militant here.
rocks. The sound is kind of strange, and you see these kind of formless piles of stones, or what you thought were formless piles of
Yeah.
stones, turn toward you. They're kind of colorless and gray, kind of like the rest of the landscape. And then you see like faces, and they start to kind of stretch out. And on two of them, you see like these arms open out. They don't
and
have
I'm staying
hands
in
at the end. They're like spikes, and there's 5 of them on each of these 2 creatures. And then the one in the middle just kind of looks.
Hello.
And let me
How
make sure I'm
close?
doing this
How
right.
close are you getting, Bythra? Because
She's not like they started moving, and she was just like hand pies, gas station pie.
And you're in the front, right?
Last I knew.
Um,
I'm only 5 feet or so behind.
You didn't make me make a perception check, so I assume we all saw and heard. She's
yeah.
like, wow, that's a squeaky hinge.
Well, no, she told me that my passive perception was
Yes.
the 20 was what caught all this.
No.
Yep. But you would hear the sounds, and eventually you would see the faces. Right as the one in the center shoots an arm out, and it goes way farther than you thought it would.
Oh no.
And it hits Bythra like a harpoon. That's a 26 to hit.
That hits. But where's my feet? Where are my feet besides on the ends of my legs? Okay, so you definitely hit my I would like to use my maneuver parry. When another creature damages you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction and expend 1 superiority die to reduce the damage. But actually, no, I think I only get a couple of superiority die at the point. I'll just take it.
Okay. You take
I just wanted to be cool.
Face check the mountain. All right.
21 piercing damage, and you are grappled.
Oh, okay.
And
We play tug of war with Bythra because I'm gonna try to grab a hold of her.
I believe, Skath, you said you were right behind her.
Where is it piercing her? My beautiful Bythra!
Another 26.
It's
Oh,
the
It's
owl
higher.
looks concerned.
His hit modifier is plus enough.
28 damage. Piercing damage, and you are grappled. And let's roll initiative.
Rude. All right.
Okay.
Thank God I have
there
advantage
should
on
be something
initiative.
that has to be done after this, and I'm gonna hopefully Bythra is on board with it.
I rolled a 5.
Never mind.
Wait, I have advantage on it.
Non-natural 20.
25.
Okay,
Yes,
hold on.
that.
Hold on. I need to write this down. So,
Okay,
It was a
that
good
was
thing when
better.
you roll a 20 and you're not first.
Cleric goes last, as usual.
Ooh. I was about to have a moment. I was like, where did my pickle go?
Pasta.
I ate it.
Hello, pasta. You are a cat with blue on your face.
Pasta got galaxy makeup
Okay.
too. That's a
25
high
to
kick.
20? Anyone?
25.
Did I hear someone got a natural 20? Also?
I
On
got a
initiative?
non-natural 20.
Oh, non-natural 20.
A
Okay.
dirty 20.
Yes. It's filthy.
Sure.
Excuse me.
20 to 15?
16. Hey.
Who's got the higher dex?
Ah. I have a 14 dexterity. That would be a +2.
Okay. So we'll do.
Did you have a 15 or a 16?
16 because I rolled again because I have advantage
Okay.
on
I wasn't sure if you
initiative.
said 15 or 16. I was like, did we say the
Six-
same number or not?
16 we did. She first
Well-
rolled a 5, but she's got it admitted.
And we've got 15 to 10? 10 to 5? What'd you get? What'd you get?
3.
Amazing.
Okay.
That
We're going to
everybody?
need a healing after this, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I don't mind going last when I'm playing a cleric, so.
Yeah, okay, that's everybody.
We appreciate it.
Okay. So we will start with Inana. This thing in the center just shot out harpoon arms about 50 feet away from you, and it shot them that far. And it's your turn.
Are they still attached to the monster? Okay.
Yeah, we're both
Okay.
grappled.
That's unfortunate. I'm gonna do. Fuck. I'm gonna do fuck. Well, they're made
Hey,
of
you do you.
stone, so that probably would work.
Oh, crap. I did not do something. Adjust the character issue
I'm
right
just
now.
gonna give it a whirl. I'm gonna try Melf's acid arrow.
Okay. Which one are you going for? There's.
The one that struck Bythra.
Okay.
That's a 22 to hit.
That hits.
And anytime. Come on. There we go. 20 total acid damage.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, sorry. 16 acid damage and then 4, like, savant damage.
I feel like I should know that.
Effective.
Oh. 16. Yes,
Okay.
it did.
Acid's good. Do the acid.
So it was 20 total.
20 total.
Okay.
Tam.
Gotcha.
Hello, Tam.
Right. Domitanus, it's your turn.
So I notice that our dear Bythra is currently being grappled.
Yes, and actually, so is Skath.
I think
It went
I'm
for the
going
strong
to.
ones.
So I'm going to target Bythra because reasons. I would like to cast Enlarge Reduce on Bythra while she is being grappled. And I would like to increase her size 8 times, as well as her weight. So she becomes gigantic.
Oh my god, are you fucking serious? I'm so excited.
Oh,
So you have advantage on strength checks and saving throws, and your weapons also do an extra d6.
She's 40 feet tall!
Yes!
She's 40 feet tall! What did you not see? This is the best day of our lives!
I came prepared with the support pigeon.
Oh my god! Oh my god, how much does she weigh? Let me see how much I made her
so
weigh.
much. Luckily,
She's-
you're in a more stable area,
That probably would have been bad right around the vortex.
right?
I'm imagining with the size of this thing that like she literally vanished into its palm and she's like, like bursting out. Yes.
Or do
She's
that.
like-
That works too. Good
She's
job.
like she's like 1,500 pounds!
I
Yeah,
can't.
boy. This thing ain't moving nothing
And
now.
we're throwing her. I'm gonna hit her in the middle of the freaking launch with this thing.
Amazing.
So hang on,
Okay.
if she's 40 feet tall now, is that like giant versus tiny rules? Is it like
It's falsetto when you're about this big. Without
It says you
you're a really small
technically go
guy.
up by 1 category. So if you were medium, you go to large. If you're small, you go to medium. But
you said 8 times my side.
it
I'm
does
5
say
feet
8
tall.
times.
It does? There's
Yeah.
not
Maximum
over
possible
anything.
size.
Oh, so
Sorry.
Oh,
You
is it
double
like-
size in all dimensions, and your weight is multiplied by 8. So you're still.
Oh.
So you're still 1,500 pounds, but you're
We're
so
like the
you're
center
large.
of a small planet at this point.
Okay. So I did the math wrong because I can't do math because I'm gay. 12 over almost 1,300 pounds. And you said double my size, so she's 10 feet tall. Okay.
Okay.
She's thick.
So
1,500 pounds.
count as large, I believe.
Yeah.
But you're
No,
still
my idea will
grappled.
work even better. So if you run one direction and I run the other,
She looks at you.
You can try it.
Big
Is that
Bythra.
it for you, Domitanus?
Yeah. Currently, yeah. We'll hang out there for a moment. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. It's Bythra's turn.
Initially, when it hit her, her hands were like this around it. Now they're like, eh. She's like, ugh. Big Bythra. And she like looks at Skath.
you're only like 2 feet taller than I am at this point.
It's like,
It's true.
it's like, did you that me this? That you that way, I do that way? I'm really excited.
She's asking if you want to rip it in half.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Okay.
she like
Skath isn't actually responding at this moment. You're just starting to see him almost like starting to foam at the mouth in excitement.
yeah.
You would
Surprise.
know him well enough to know that
Yeah.
probably means yes.
As she's smiling, she just kind of like grinds her really sharp teeth together, and her eyes get even wider, and she goes, and she starts foaming at the mouth, and it's like dribbling down her chin, and she's like,
This was not planned. For anybody that's gonna ask this question, this was not planned. I didn't
She,
even look
like-
at this character.
she yanks a sickle out of her pocket here or her belt pouch. She's like, Big Bythra, and she goes,
Okay.
and I would like to rage.
Okay.
There it is.
You can do that. Absolutely.
I had hopes.
And then I need pull damage. I don't know
As
what pull
a-
damage is, but I need pull damage.
I mean, I think it'd be a strength check.
Which you have advantage on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Yeah. She run fast too, so how is speed affected when you're all of a sudden 10 stories tall?
No idea.
You're not
On the stride.
You're
The
Not
stride
listening.
alone.
10 feet tall.
Isn't it like doubled or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so she runs 80 feet in one direction. In like 3 steps. In like 3 steps, she just like...
Hang on.
Big
I
Bythra,
don't
big
think-
Bythra, big Bythra, big Bythra.
I will say you could probably go a little farther.
She go run. She you better run. And she pull. She do
Alright.
big yank.
Okay. Yeah, make an athletics check.
Okay.
With advantage because you're raging
Yep.
And enlarged.
Yep.
and enlarged.
Double advantage.
Only if
Okay,
it's a-
22 and a 24.
Okay.
She like does like a skid. She like
Trying to
yanks
yank
it
on
over
it,
like she's
right?
doing tug of war because she's had to pull in a boat or she's had to pull in a ship or two in her time.
But just to be clear, you're not escaping the grapple. You are yanking on it to try and hurt it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna say
Oh, no, the main
Roll
goal is
She
to have
wants
this
the
thing
arm.
completely
I
apart.
want the arm. I want this
Whatever, she's taking it
pendant.
home.
roll
I will hang it in my
3d6
I will hang it in my sacred
plus a
bathroom.
d4 because you're enlarged. 3d6 and a d4.
Oh. Oh. 10, 14, 16.
16. Okay.
And then she like does that skid to the end of her run. She's like, big Bythra!
I mean, you heard it. You're still grappled, but it seems very hurt on the arm.
So that's movement, and that's probably my action and my bonus action. Cool. Wait, don't I get 2 attacks? Hang on.
Yes.
Possibly.
And as a barbarian at
Barbarian?
level
Oh, you
1,
bite
you
it.
better.
When you
might
make your
have-
first attack, okay, hang on. Sorry, it's been a while since it's been a hot minute since I played a barbarian. Oh, I do get 2
Downside.
attacks per action. Cool. I would like
Downside to higher level one shots.
Yeah, I would like to use. Bythra would like to use her also enlarged sickle and remove the appendage from the offending rock thing.
Go for it.
Eight, 18 plus 9 brain, 27.
That hits.
Okay.
2, 4, 9er, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Right?
I have to like when it's like numbers like that. 9.
That plus your rage damage.
Oh shit.
Like a +3 on top of it, I think, or more than that now.
Rage. It's been so long. +3. So what did I say? 9? Or did I say 7?
Yes.
So 12.
12.
I'm sinking. Oh.
Are we gonna have to F in chat again for your chair?
Do that. Don't do that. My viewers just got me this chair. It's a nice chair. It's an office chair. It's like a really good office chair, too.
As you kind of, I'm going to say they like yank on it as bludgeoning damage, and the sickle obviously is what, slashing damage?
Yeah.
It doesn't take as much damage as you would have thought.
Oh. It's not like butter. Smash. And she puts the sickle away.
I think that's Skath's turn.
Yeah, so Skath will, seeing the plan play out perfectly the way he had thought about it as well, you see Skath start to kind of pulse and enlarge, holding on to it as claws tear out from underneath the gloves that he was wearing, The jacket kind of rolls off of the shoulders, revealing thick, heavy hides. And of course, the snout grows out deeper as he gives out a heavy howl, and he's going to grab and pull as well.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. That's a natural 20.
So you can roll 3d6 and double it and add whatever, or roll 6d6 if you want.
We'll just do it the basics. I don't have 66 laying with me at the moment either. So. Oh,
You didn't get out a million damage dice like I did?
Oh no.
So that's
I'm in danger.
12. That's 12 plus, and then what am I adding?
Whatever your strength
Oh, okay. 12
ishness.
plus 4 plus.
Oh, and the dice would be doubled because you got an natural.
Oh, I get to do that next turn. That'll be fun. Oh, sorry, I'm not muted.
Plus 2. I'm just trying to remember because these give weird bonuses.
Oh, right. The
Feral
various...
Might gives me an extra +2 bonus to melee attack rolls. And then there's that damage. That's just attack rolls, right? No, damage rolls. Okay, so +2 there. And then improved predatory strikes get an additional +2. So that's 12 plus 4, 16 plus 4, so 20 points.
Okay. All right. Again, it doesn't take as much damage as you would have hoped, but it does seem hurt. Do you get a second attack as well? I think
I do.
Blood Hunters get a second attack.
I do as well. And I will do a predatory strike.
Just like making growling noises.
I'm here for it.
And I don't get advantage on the attack, so...
I like this music. It's from Critical Role soundtrack.
That's another natural 20.
Are you doing the same thing, or are you doing like a claw kind of situation?
No, I'm going to do a predatory strike slash, so it'd be a 1d8 plus... what all that crazy? Be 5 plus 5, 9... So 13 points addition.
Great. It's starting to look beat up already.
There's only 4 more, right?
As you end your turn, it is this creature's turn. Neither of you escaped the grapple.
Correct.
I feel like I need to roll something to decide who wants odds, who wants evens.
I'll take those odds.
All right. Oh, no. It's going to be Skath. Okay. I have to read it. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I've got some of that.
As it pulls you 30 feet towards it.
It pulls me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I contest the pull?
No.
It would have to be a specific reaction, I think.
Yeah, probably.
It
I'm
says
It sounds like a feature of this creature.
you have to make a wisdom saving throw, and even if you pass, either way, you are pulled 30 feet toward the creature.
Ooh.
You
Alright,
contemplate the meaning of life, and if you fail, you get...
I've been wanting to
pretty much.
use these monsters for years.
If he's going to make the wisdom saving throw before he throws that out, I would like to use my character's
Okay,
ability.
I'm putting this dice away because it must be rigged.
I'm using my
was 3
character's
natural
ability
20s
to
in a row.
add. Well, I already said I was going to do
Okay.
it. So I get to add him an additional 5 to his roll using my action.
All right. Dang,
I
you
don't
succeed.
I don't want to cheat, so I'm going to pull
Right,
a
plus
different
5.
dice because that was insanity.
You succeed so well that you only take. Hang on, math.
33% of your health.
11 points of psychic damage. But you are still pulled towards it.
Okay.
The psychic damage is you going, what the shit, as it just drags you.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing there and he's like, "Good job, Bythra!"
Good lord!
Where did I
Just
go?
screaming. All right. That is that creature's turn. The other two are going to go. The two of you in the front are pretty well taken care of by this thing in the center.
Pretty well taken care of.
Let's see, everybody was kind of 50 feet back, I said. So they will have to.
So
dash.
technically, we never specified where I was. Said I was being overlooked pigeon, so I wasn't too far
That's true.
behind Bythra.
That's true. Yeah, you did move up. How
I
high
haven't
are you
moved
in
at
the
all.
air?
I only said about 30 feet. I
All
wasn't
right.
too far away.
So you'd be up here.
Like Sylvester grabbing Tweety.
And then Inana and Dolow, would you be like at the back?
Yeah, probably like 30 or 40 feet back.
I got little legs, so yeah, I'd be towards the back.
Okay. They still have to dash to get super close. You said you're 30 feet in the air?
Mhm.
Okay. The other two, they look different. They don't have like the harpoony arms. They have these like, it's like their whole body is a claw.
Holy
And
fighting. Like
they're my favorite. They're so awesome. Okay.
Lift the action out of the ground.
They're going to dash kind of past those of you on the ground. You could make attacks of opportunity at them if you want. But they're going to go back to where Inana and Dolow are.
Ah, yes, please.
So
Can we both?
I want to make smack it.
yeah, because they're going to be going on either side.
All right.
When you enter a rage, you can transform, revealing the bestial power within you.
It is kind of funny that you're different classes. You have so many similar abilities.
I know, it's kind of uncanny.
And
I
like
said,
you went
was not
Path of the
playing.
Beast and Order of the Lycan. It's like
Yeah.
He
Same
did
thing.
the party team well.
Yeah, her mouth
Lions and
transforms
tigers
into a
and owls, oh my.
mouth transforms instead into a bestial muzzle. I really enjoy the great mandibles because like it's very like insecty and fishy, you know. Her hands transform into claws, and she grows a lashing, spiny tail. And this is all at 10 feet tall. And as it goes past her, this is good for one's
it's like Swamp Thing and the Wolfman.
She's like, yeah.
And she's just gonna make a she's gonna try and bite it, because why not?
Okay. Do it.
With her face. I'll avenge your beautiful hand and your foot with my face. 14 plus 8. That would be 22 to hit
That hits.
with her face. It's a D.
Ooh.
Oh my god, it's a rolling dice, Aphi. I get rolling dice.
6 plus 4, that's 10 plus 3, 13.
Why are you saying me? What did I do?
No, I'm just excited because they're no, it's your dice.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I just heard rolling dice, Aphi, and I'm like, oh, what? What did I
I'm
do?
rolling your dice, Aphi. I'm rolling your dice.
And she just it goes like I'm guessing like past her or something like that, and it's just like she's like.
All right. And then Skath, you were gonna hit the other one.
Yeah, I rolled a 26.
6. That hits.
Pulls away from her mouth, and she's just like.
You taste.
For 10 points.
It
10 points?
tastes like volcano.
All right.
Sulfur. And
Yeah, they're
volcanic.
gross. They're like, they don't look undead or anything, but they're just like gray. Look very like they have that face just like always like, and
That's
you can
my
hear them
face.
like
Why are you coming at me like
creaking.
this?
And they're just like creaking the whole time, like.
You should moisturize.
I always sound like that especially when I'm standing up or sitting down or walking or lying down. Or
You should moisturize.
Don't judge me. All right. So that's
I highly
those
recommend
ones.
coconut oil, especially if
Dolow's
you've got a
turn.
sunburn.
Dolow, you've got one of these in your face. There's another one behind you next to Inana. And
It's got like a
there is-
Bythra-shaped bite mark in its head.
and then there's the one kind of off in the distance that has the harpoon arms.
Yeah, it's Skath is staring in the face.
Okay, I'm going to cast my Twilight Sanctuary.
Ooh, I regain a number of hit points equal to my proficiency bonus when I bite. If I damage the creature with my bite.
There you go.
Damn!
Healing.
Yeah, you just eat it.
Okay, so what does your Twilight Sanctuary do?
So, a sphere 30 feet in, with a 30-foot radius, it is filled with dim light, and it moves with me when I move. And whenever a creature, including me, ends its turn in there, I can grant that creature one of the benefits that comes with this.
Sweet.
So.
Okay. I'll say.
And
So
then I fly. Because I can do that. 'Cause it's dim light, so I can fly.
Where are you going?
25 feet straight up.
Okay.
Nope.
It
we have
is going
Here's
to.
flying characters and 2 beasts.
Everybody's flying.
This wasn't planned.
2 artificers.
And 2
Okay.
artificers.
Damn, these freaking dice.
I can't
Rolling
fly.
pretty well.
Whoa!
You're roboting, baby, sweetie.
Yeah. That is a
Ram?
Ram, what are you doing here?
25 to hit as you fly up.
Yeah, that hits.
Oof.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. That is 12 piercing damage. And you realize that it hits you not when you're like leaving the 5-foot range, but its arms are actually really long. That's about a 10-foot reach. Okay, so you are up in the air. And you've done your sanctuary, you've done your fly. We're back at the top with Inana.
Do not care for accordion.
There's a
arms.
thing in your face.
Don't appreciate this at all. So I'm going to use my bonus action to rabbit hop.
Okay.
I can jump 20 feet without provoking an opportunity attack.
Hey.
Damn.
20 feet the fuck away from them. Closer to Bythra and Skath.
Okay.
And then I'll use the rest of my movement to get even closer to Skath.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to cast Haste.
Oh. Okay. Amazing.
On you or me?
On you. So you
Amazing.
gain
We've
plus
established
2
the
to
game
your
plan.
AC. You have advantage on dex saves. You gain an additional action on each of your turns. You can take the attack action with one weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object.
Yep.
Amazing.
That's 3 attacks. So that's 4 attacks.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun.
I have made a decision. The decision has been made. Yeah.
All right.
Choices were made.
So yeah, I cast haste, and then I just stand there in the middle of everything, like.
Cool.
And the way I cast haste, I like dig around in my bag, and I pull out this vial that has like swirling silvery liquid in it, and then I just huck it at Skath. It'll shatter on impact, and then you feel really, really fast. So
I do declare.
because I have used that, you're actually going to take a heal as well, I think. Let me just
thank
double
gosh.
check that. Because I might
It's a
be
good thing. Because I was
misreading
closing
that.
in on Bloodlust, and the next thing that's closest to me is going to get attacked, and not it.
Right, that's
I would have
right.
felt bad if it was you.
Downsides.
He's not at Bloodlust yet, but he's
Okay.
getting close.
So because this is an experimental elixir I've created, you gain 2d6 plus 4 hit points.
So are you
Temporary
rolling that,
hit
or you-
points.
Oh,
So
you rolling that, or am I rolling it?
I got it. So you get 13 temporary hit points.
Dang. Okay.
I'll take it.
Oh, it's gonna be harder to kill you than I thought.
It keeps
My
me from
Twilight
going
Sanctuary
into a
does 1d6 plus
blind
11
rage.
temporary hit points.
11!
Yeah,
Holy shit!
that's why
Um,
that's why I used it.
Domitanus, it's your turn.
This is my character for the 12-hour dungeon crawl, by the way.
Okay.
We
Yes.
anywhere
we
near?
have an enlarged.
I'm concerned
strength-based
about
character.
these things. Are we anywhere near the magical landmines, or like a grouping of them?
You can see some in the distance, but it seems like these things have kind of stayed away, so they're in between like two groups that are spread out.
So we're
an
not
asteroid.
within like.
It's an asteroid belt between the nasty creatures.
I was gonna say,
right?
so we're not like within reachable range of these things.
No.
Suddenly,
Not.
Leo
Okay.
Pleurodon comes in out of the ring and just goes,
It's a
Right.
Leo Pyraddys, Charlie.
magical Leo
my friggin'
Pleurodon.
kidney. Yeah, I was gonna catapult some of the magical landmines towards this creature, but I can't because there's none here.
Do you have a net? You can fly.
They
over and
have
scoop them up?
feelings.
They
Those
do.
are our
They feel
friends.
explosive when they hit the big things.
Those are our friends.
we're good.
And you can say hi to them as they blow up.
Yes, I think I might have to. I have to rethink myself here. I'm definitely going to continue my concentration on Bythra, making sure
Okay.
that Big Bythra is still a thing.
Big Bythra.
Because yeah,
So
it has to happen. We're having too much fun here.
Yeah.
True.
Other than that, I think I'm gonna bide my time here in the air and use my actual action to just kind of toss a cantrip generally that direction.
Okay.
Do a little
Which
damage.
one?
Let me see. Because of course, I'm doing the PDF version of my sheet. It is confusing. Okay, never mind. Apparently, I don't have cantrips.
We have
You
3
didn't give-
at our level.
You should have 3.
They're not listed on my sheet.
It's because you
Then
didn't
you
put them
didn't
on
pick
there.
them.
Pick.
I don't use the D&D Beyonds. You know what? We're gonna take a shot at it. I have a light problem.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We're just gonna take a shot at it from up here.
Do you want the harpoon arm one or one of the 2 claw creatures?
My petition was approved. Harpoon one is now Spirit Fingers, and I will shoot at him.
Great. No, they're scary.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
suddenly feel like Brendan Lee Mulligan with the corn cuties.
Would you? Oh no.
It's better
Um,
than salad fingers.
Oh,
Ugh.
God. Don't touch your spoons. I know too much about the
Don't
internet.
touch
That is
my
a
stuff.
19.
My
That
fingers.
hits.
15 hits. Let's do this. 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
Piercing damage.
Piercing damage.
Oh, I guess I
Alright.
can do it again. I do have 2 attacks.
There you go. Gosh, how do you all
Let's
have
do
2
it.
attacks? Almost like someone gave you a
Um,
free feats and all this magic stuff.
No.
Oh my god,
That's
I
exactly
never
the same
took
thing,
a free
19.
feat. Shit.
Too late now.
Right, now you just have
wait,
3
we got a-
legs with
We
3
got a
feet.
free
So,
feat. I used my feat from actually my ability score.
oh yeah, that's 9.
I don't
Okay,
remember the free feat
9 points
thing.
of piercing damage.
If it helps, I've only got one.
Instead
one
of
attack.
free feat, I'm taking the increased ability score and I'm increasing my strength to 19.
anyway.
Yeah, we do the same thing, but I put mine
Yeah.
to 20.
Make the mobile
Okay.
feet be faster.
I mean, I
and
could
bigger.
put it in my
I
wisdom.
did say that, right? Did I say? I don't remember.
I don't
Yeah, you
remember
did.
It was
saying
in the
your
character
additional
document.
Was it? I remember.
I know, I read it today.
Okay.
Feat. Oh well, I'll be alright.
So that's Domitanus. Bythra, it's your turn. You're still big Bythra.
Big Bythra!
Big business.
Big Bythra. Okay. So Spirit Fingers is still knuckles deep in her. And
We're close to second knuckle. It's getting dangerous fast.
Claw. What do we and the claw has just gone past with and she's taken a chunk out of its head, right?
When has phrasing ever stopped anybody on this channel?
Never.
No.
How's Bythra gonna know? So
Trying to make a serious game.
yeah, well, I'm imagining these things with like, for some reason, the image that conjured up was like, ugh,
I'm
Big,
seeing
like-
nasty. I'm seeing like nasty Rover feel right now.
big, like very
Ugh.
glassy, very moist
Nasty, what did
looking
you say?
eyes, and
Roper?
like lichen
Not what I
and
heard.
moss just hanging off in
What do you
dregs.
think I said?
Golston, like those, like the corpses from the Black Cauldron. Blech.
Oh.
But rocks. So which one of these creatures is closest currently to Bythra and or the one who's fucking up her buddies the most?
Well, the claw ones haven't really had a chance to do anything yet, but there is a claw one kind of behind you. And you're still kind of attached to the other one. You just saw it reel in.
How close is the one behind her?
20 feet.
20? Damn. Okay, because she's got reach of 10 with her tail.
Ooh.
All right, cool. So I guess she'll leap on the one that's like trying to corkscrew her and Skath.
Okay.
She has a thing where her jump is super jumpy. Where is
Hey,
it?
me too.
Yeah.
Is it called Long Strider?
Bestial soul jumping. When you jump, you
Don't
can make a strength check and extend your jump by a number of feet equal to the check's total. Do I
Okay.
need to do that, or can I just jump over there?
Just jump over there. You can do it.
Okay, she does. She big Bythra. She,
You're going to the harpoon one.
yeah.
Okay.
And upon landing, would like to sink claws and then fangs into, well, mandibles. Excuse me.
Would that put us in flanking?
Because he is 30 feet
Well-
closer to it.
Not quite.
Okay.
But you could, if it reels you in again, you could presumably
Oh no,
get.
I'm running straight at it this time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're both running at it. We're gonna clonk
It
heads.
would be
It's gonna
easy to
bad.
get in flanking position. We'll put it that way.
15 plus 8. I can do math with my brain. 23 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. D8, where are you? D8. 8 plus 4, that's 12 plus 3, 15. For the bite. And now for the claw. The claw! 13 plus 8, that would be 21.
To hit?
Yeah, to hit.
Yeah.
These are claws, so it's a 1d6 instead. What's my pine cone dice? 3 plus 4, 7 plus 3, 10.
All right.
And these both did land, right?
They did land. They still don't do
Yeah.
as much damage as
just want to
normal,
make
but
make
did land.
sure that I hit, like it did actually hit. So I will invoke Infectious Fury. When you hit a creature with your natural weapons while you are raging, the target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw DC 15 or suffer one of the following effects of my choice. Those effects would either be the target must use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of my choice that I can see, or it takes 2d12 psychic damage.
Ooh, okay. Wisdom save plus 0. That's a 10.
15. DC 15.
It fails.
I would like it to attack the claw.
Okay. Does it have to be in melee of this creature?
That I can see. Target must use its reaction to make a melee. Yeah, so can it attack the claw? Is the one claw is just within its reach, right?
Oh.
Because it's got like 30 feet long, 50 feet long arms.
You reached me at 50 feet, so
Yeah, it's got 50 feet long arms. Foot.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna do that. Okay.
So it's got to take one of its appendages and exit one of our bodies.
It is within 30 feet.
She's like,
So who's it gonna release?
She's like claws and teeth in it. She's like,
I do odds and evens again?
Sure.
Sure, why
Who wants
not?
odds?
I'll go evens this time.
Go on.
It's odds, so it's gonna release Skath.
She's like, yeah.
Which means
She says to it, or she like, I guess I don't know, and she thinks really hard.
It's a 3 and a 5.
She was like,
7.
on my head.
You're
No
gnawing
idea
on
what
it.
said.
So it has advantage because there's more than one creature within 30 feet of it, and I rolled a 3 and a 5.
Oh man.
Oh, it still missed. But Harpoon is no longer in Skath. It's just out there in the wind.
Oh, bye.
Vanished.
So there's that.
Scat turned invisible.
And it is Skath's turn.
Yeah.
If you're done.
Hold
As
on.
long as you're done.
I think that's so. I made my 2 attacks. I made my movement. Nothing was a critical in my range here. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think
Skath,
so.
it's your turn.
Wait, why did literally my webcam decided to disconnect though? Give me a
You
second
disappeared.
after. I did. I vanished.
You can
It
still
releases
do
you and you disappear.
Yeah. I actually have the ability to do that as a furball, but
Sure.
I'm not going to do that. So Skath is going to run straight at the creature.
Okay.
As he does, he's going to place almost like on the ground grape, and as it does, you're going to see a spark of electricity come off of it, and he's going to take 3 attacks.
4.
So, and that's with
4, yeah.
that's with his crimson, right? So.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, you get 4 because you get another attack after it. So.
Yeah, so I take. So doing that, I took 5 points of damage, which is off of my temporary, so it's fine. All right, and he's going to do 3 attacks. And since he's in melee range with Bythra right there, he's going to take it at advantage for flanking.
Yep.
So that's going to be 24 to hit for the first one. 25 to hit for the second one, and a 22 to hit for the third.
Okay. And you get one more.
No, because it's a bonus attack for to add the crimson rate.
Okay.
But you're
So it
hasted.
only have, yeah. Do I get 2 attacks per action, or
So
per
you get-
weapon attack?
You
Or
said you
is
had
it this-
3 attacks originally, right? Or was it 2
No,
attacks?
no, I
and
have
then
2
your bonus
attacks
attack was-
originally
Okay.
plus a bonus.
Gotcha.
Okay.
My bad. Disregard.
No, you're good.
I haven't
So
played
then-
a Pathfinder in a while.
I'm
Go ahead and roll your
Haven't
damage.
never played this high level of a blood hunter, so
You always died before, huh?
All right,
Or
let's see
one
here.
shot.
And that is that's gonna be 6. So 12 points of slashing damage and an additional 1 point of lightning for the first one.
Gotcha.
Another 11 points of slashing damage with another 1 point of lightning.
Aren't these rocks?
And another 14 points of damage and another 2 points of lightning. Well, I only had lightning and fire, and I didn't think fire and rock was going to work either, so.
All right. It's looking pretty hurt. But it is now its turn.
Yeah, here we go.
So let's see.
It's going to be mad at me. I have a feeling.
Bythra is still grappled.
Yeah, but she's grappling it now.
First things first, let me make sure I'm doing this right. So both of you are now within 5 feet of it. I need you both to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. Oh.
Gonna drag us across the 5 feet in just in 30 feet seconds.
It's a 10.
Okay.
Wisdom. Oh, I have a plus in that. Good for me. Well, you said wisdom save, correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Saving throw plus. Okay, 15. 14 plus 1.
I'll flash
Okay.
a genius scoff, so +4 to that roll.
Okay.
Bythra still got the shining rock that she licked and attached to her head from earlier.
Bythra just barely passes, and unfortunately, Skath still misses it by 1. So, I don't know if this will put you into your danger zone, but you take 11. No. Yes, 11 points of psychic damage.
Nope. I'm still good so far.
And then.
Thankfully, I had temporary hit points left. So.
Oh, that's right. So you're good. And then it's going to do its sorrowful embrace on Bythra, so I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Hugs! Dirty 20, y'all. That's a 19.
Okay.
Plus 1. Aphi, these dice. try and
So
use
it's
it.
halved, so you take 8 points of psychic damage. You would be pulled towards it, but you're already up against it. And
Just
that's
like
it
hugs
for-
it tighter against her, and she's just like,
Oh.
"Bleh."
That is it for that one.
Oh, I don't know
The-
if this would make
the damage is
difference.
emotional.
Were you reducing the damage
Like our
from his normal
campaign.
strike?
From the
From the three
bludgeoning,
three
piercing,
normal?
or slashing, yes.
So all of it, because he has his crimson right on, they're all considered magical.
Okay. It would still be half.
Ooh,
But
interesting.
the lightning is not. And let's see.
Now I'm even more curious about this creature.
It is now the claw people. And the only person on the ground that they're close enough to is Dolow. Sorry, my friend.
Isn't she
Um,
25 feet in the
I'm
air?
25
Yes,
feet in the air.
Right, damn it. Ruining all my plans.
Why do you turn into an angry old prospector when you
I
annoyed?
warned you before that I had fly.
I know. I forgot.
Bythra's still on the ground? Come at me.
I mean, they're too far away from you, but Inana's still back enough that they can make it to her. So that's what they're going to do.
They really don't have to. It's totally okay. It's
I
fine.
think
It's fine.
they don't get. Hold on. Okay. So they're going to run up to you. They're going to flank. They're smart.
Don't like that.
And
You just said it's a smart rock. There's problems now.
She said they appear to be rocks in the
I-
distance. I don't know that we've clarified that they were actually piles of rocks.
don't worry, y'all.
I would like to
roll
know
so
what it
bad.
is. Hang on, because I feel like Bythra should know what they are, seeing as she's
Bonus
had
action
2
identifies
mouthfuls
the
of
rock.
them.
They're not rock.
What is it?
They
Said two.
blend in with the environment.
What's it
But they are
taste
not
like?
rock.
She's had
Flesh.
2 mouthfuls of it.
It tastes like kind of gross flesh.
Like barbecue?
No, not that flavorful.
Like charred? Oh, this was bland. She is a cook, so
No.
and I did make it a point to give her the Heward's handy spice pouch, so she could season that shit up if she needed to.
Well, you could. I mean,
They have
the first
eyes,
bite
right?
the first
They
bite
have-
was gross. They do have eyes. The first, even with advantage, does not hit.
Handful of pepper on my next turn.
But 18 plus 6 should hit.
That does hit. Yep.
She makes sure not to
Um.
inhale first. She's done that before.
I'm about to literally start going through the monster manual. Like, what the hell is this
13
stupid
piercing
thing?
damage.
Like a spook. Who's
And
being attacked
then-
right now?
Me.
The other
Oh.
one, garbage, misses the first. Freaking 21 AC. And my
Your
terrible
AC is
rolls.
21?
23 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay.
Whispers are interesting.
11 piercing damage.
Right.
All
I'm
right.
fine on my concentration checks.
Got it. And with that, it is Dolow's turn.
Oh, I forgot about that.
All right, so I'm gonna fly. So I'm sort of like right over, probably right over the top of Inana,
Okay.
and then I'm going to healing word you. And how much damage did you take that time?
I'm down to 56 of 80.
Forgot to heal myself when I bit him again.
Do it.
Okay.
4 hit points. Stink.
We do have a healing potion somewhere. That was in the character
Yes.
description.
Yeah, we all got a greater
Everybody
healing.
has a
Oh.
healing potion.
Okay.
Greater healing potion.
Bythra's just snacking at this point. Gross. It's kind of grizzly. I'm going to be picking this out of my teeth for days.
Do you get back? Sorry, I forgot how to do math.
Okay.
Too gay, can't math.
You're gonna get back 17 hit points.
Damn.
Dang. Nice. Well, yeah, because you got your
Cleric in
like
action.
was my bonus action, and then as my action, I'm just going to. Is there one that's close enough I can toll the dead?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one that's right by her. Never mind.
Yep.
So has either of the two that are by her been hit?
They've each been hit once.
Okay, so just one of them. I'm going to. And they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh right. Oh, +0 again. Pretty sure. No. Even worse. -2. It's an 8.
Holy shit. Well, they take 21 points of damage then, because I rolled a 10 and 11, so.
Damn.
Dead. Wait, so how much is it?
It's 21 total. It's necrotic damage, if that matters.
It does matter.
They heal.
That would suck.
No. Don't give them ideas.
No, it hurts it. It hurts it. Okay.
Like, more so
Did
than
you-
normal?
Did you roll
It hurts
2?
it a normal amount.
2d12 or 3d12?
I rolled 2. Am I supposed to roll 3?
We're level 11, so.
Oh.
3.
It hurts the
Okay.
normal amount.
Add another 10 to that. These fucking dice from Jeremy.
For fix sick.
Alright. It looks really hurt from a freaking cantrip.
I'm just imagining Golbert yelling in the distance.
Alright.
Is there a way to position myself so that both Inana and like one other person are like underneath me? Or are they too far apart?
They're too far apart, but you could get you could either get between Inana and Dom, or you can get between Inana and Bythra.
Bythra's 10 feet tall, large creature, so it's not too hard to be within reach.
And
You're-
you know this
you're
bitch is
pre-
jumping on my next turn, so. I'll go wherever you need me to go.
Just get next to get next to, I guess, get next to Dom.
Okay.
And I'll position myself by Dom then.
Get over there!
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Dom is up in the air too, so.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as they're within 30 feet of me, I don't care.
Okay, it's Inana's turn then.
It's crispy.
I'm going to jump
Great.
to Dom
Okay.
with my rabbit.
You don't want to
hop.
be flanked by.
No, I do not. Because I may have a high AC, but you keep hitting me, so that's not good.
I do.
And then I will. The one that's looking real poorly from the ones that I jumped from.
Mhm.
Gonna do Melf's acid arrow again.
Great. Go for it.
They bloody yet?
That one is about bloody. The one that Skath and Bythra are by is like real bad.
14 to hit?
It just misses. So sorry.
Balls.
No, the balls are over there. Don't hit them, they'll explode.
Those slowed.
Got it.
I know you how
You
you
are
like to make things explode.
Away from them. Y'all can move around pretty good. Anything else?
Where I've moved to underneath the D's,
Yes.
is there anywhere to like kind of tuck into or hide? 'Cause
Mm,
I'm hard to hit, but I'm squished when you do hit me.
not really.
You can hide on my back.
I'm not near you.
But
I'm near
it's
everybody.
pretty like open, flat area.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What you thought were rock formations were
These things.
horrible nightmare creatures.
It's like a bunch of
Um,
freaking grimers and mucks.
Um,
Well, I'll just move another like 10 feet.
Okay.
Just put my full
Hey.
distance.
Boingo.
That.
Is that the end of your turn then?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you end your turn within the 30 feet of me, you get 16 temporary hit points.
Oh shit.
Jeez. Freaking Twilight Clerics.
Because I rolled a 5, so you get 5 plus 11. So.
Jeez. All right, Domitanus, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to maintain Big Bythra because we have to. It is the theme of the fight. We are maintaining.
I like being Big Bythra.
Turns out, we do own cantrips.
Yes.
So, am I within range to fly to Skath?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gonna fly to Skath, and as dramatic as all hell and feather wrap, unhand and like grab and shocking grasp this creature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey.
He's gonna take
So
the
normal
kill.
spell
He's
attack.
gonna take the kill from us, Bythra.
Bythra's
Support
on
pigeon
top of
flies
it, so
in.
this will be fun.
Oh god, maybe not. That doesn't look good.
Is it
where's
an
my
attack
plus?
or a save?
It's an attack. So I rolled a 12. Oh, plus 9, 21.
That hits. Yeah.
Okay. And that's 3d8. Let's go.
It's lightning.
15
right?
points of damage. Yes, lightning. 15 points of damage.
It's not dead. It looks.
I wonder. I
I'm
believe
not
I have some.
dead yet. Or if it.
It's pretty darn close.
Where is this? Bonus action things. I don't remember what this one does. 0.2 seconds. Okay. You know what? Never mind. I don't know what it does, so I'm done. I guess I'm ending my turn floating next to Skath in pokeable range.
Is he within 30 feet of me?
Not anymore. Just outside.
Dang it.
Oh no, you're there. Yes.
Okay, so
like
then
20.
you get 13 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Clerics. Bythra, your turn.
Twilight clerics.
Okay, the first was the claw at 21. The second is the bite at 25.
Yeah.
I rolled before to kind of speed things along. Sorry. And 8. Bink. Okay, so the claw's going to be 2 plus 4, so 6, 9 damage with the claws, and the bite is going to be, oh my god, that's max damage. Okay, 8 plus 12, and then 15 damage. And since these two attacks hit, I would like to invoke another one of my charges for infectious fury. Wisdom saving throw DC 15, and I would like, if it succeeds, to deal 2d12 psychic damage.
If it dies, does it have to make a save?
No, then I don't have to spend my charge.
Great. Please.
She's like,
explain
you
that.
stop that! She's just a big throw.
As you are
Don't you do that to my friends. This is not what I was expecting. I was just supposed to steer the ship to heaven and cook for my friends. And now we're in the middle of nowhere and I'm emotional and you taste bad.
Can I give Cedar inspiration?
Yes. Do it. Take inspiration.
I just want to find my...
I should do that more.
Just in the middle of all this.
Forget all the time too. With you guys on Friday nights, I forget all the freaking time.
Yeah, that one's so. As you're like frantically clawing at this thing, it just sort of like makes one last like,
She's just like,
and like melts into this like
Sludge.
goopy gray and black puddle.
She like her jaws like snap shut as it like slips out of her mouth. She's like, and she opens her mouth and just.
Yeah, that one's down. That one's gone.
Don't forget your heal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you bit it.
You've got
So
that
that's
on you.
one
Up
down.
to 104 out
There's
of
two
123.
And if Bythra is all done, it's Skath's turn. There's two left.
Alright.
They're out there by themselves now because
What's the closest? How far are they?
10 feet.
Oh, okay,
from
yeah.
you?
He's just gonna
I'm
go.
having a
He's just gonna go full
day.
blown, like
Oh, yeah, you
wolf
do have
jump
haste too.
just from one side to the next and just slam down on it. And he's gonna
Right.
do all 4 hits or all 3 hits.
just like
Four.
Are you gonna
1,
go
2,
for the
3,
one that's
4.
more damaged, or are you gonna go for the one that's less damaged?
Is which one's closest to one of them?
They're both about the same. They were flanking Inana, and Inana got away.
Use your big attack on the one that has more.
The one on the left is almost full. They've only been hit once. The one on the right is almost half.
All right,
Almost at half.
I'll go straight after the one that's almost half, just to see if I can take it out as well.
Someone's gonna get their feelings hurt.
First roll. It's gonna be a 16.
That hits.
All right, second roll. That's gonna be a 23.
That hits.
Third roll. That's gonna be a 13.
And misses.
Yeah, all right. You'll have to miss one. And then that's gonna be a 26.
That hits.
All right. That's gonna be 11 points of damage of slashing and 4 points of lightning.
Okay.
It's gonna be 9 points of damage or of slashing and 1 point of lightning.
I love how we can
And-
only see your ear on stream.
and 7 points of damage and 6 points of lightning.
I'm sorry.
Starting to look really hurt.
I'm
Okay.
trying to utilize my brand new dice tray.
Quite nice.
Nice. Ooh, that's pretty.
I know. This was,
Shiny. Where'd
this
you
was
get it?
wonderful.
Called the Ear Pop 9000.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, this
My
was a
ears.
gift from DN Draco over in the Ukraine.
Shout out to Ian
Oh.
Draco.
Hey, Slava Ukraini. Okay.
Mhm.
The one is dead. It's a pile of muck. But the other two are still standing.
Hey,
They're not
bad.
by. Or you just ran up to them.
He leapt upon them.
I left the pond.
But
Feet first.
that one's gonna go for you. The
I'm
other
figuring that-
one
Both are going to go for.
Like a
is
Superman
going
punch,
to
but with your feet.
go up. Okay, Bythra and Dom do. Who wants odds or evens?
I chose the last time. You choose this time.
Are you up in the air?
He's in the air.
I'm only like 10 feet off the ground though. Like I flew close.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm
I can
reachable.
still reach you.
Pigeon smack! Alright.
Odds or evens?
Evens.
Evens. That's gonna
Rude.
go for you.
Hopefully, he doesn't drop Big Bythra.
Right?
Nope.
All right.
I have
So
advantage and all kinds of things.
first, we've got.
She likes
Skath.
being big. Griffin.
It's going to use a special attack.
Of
Oh
course, he
dear.
Because it's right up next to you.
The special attack to kick
Thought
him in
you
the
were-
ding ding.
It's like 8 feet off the ground.
Swing it up!
I don't know that it's 8. No. 18?
It does have a 50-foot reach, though, so.
18 to hit.
Yeah.
Misses.
I feel like my
Can't do
AC
that
is
again.
toast.
Okay.
Haste.
That
plus-
misses. Cool. Dang it. Oh, I want to use that so bad. Okay.
I think I'm at a 21 right now in AC.
Oh yeah, because you have your
Haste.
Because I have haste, and I also have the bonus
Your
from...
IACs are killing me because I'm so bad at rolling dice. Okay. Rawr.
How can you be bad at rolling dice?
I just have bad rolls.
You do good
always.
job.
There's
The
also this
other
thing
one-
called lying. Not that I'm encouraging that, but
Yeah, you are the DM.
I mean, I'm not.
If it makes
Ooh,
sense
we
for your
crit for the
story.
9th time in a row. Like, we can catch it back up real fast.
Natural 20. No.
Ow,
the
that
other one
hurted.
is going for Domitanus with just a regular 2 arm spikes. 12. And freaking 12 again.
Super pigeon. You weren't ready. Got it.
Dang it.
I just want to point out this whole time, the shell that emits the sound of waves has been clipped to Bythra's ear this entire time and has been playing the sounds of the ocean waves in her ear.
It's the only thing keeping you mildly calm. You'd have just wrote it out by now if you didn't have it.
Dolow, it's your turn.
No when, no why, no worry.
Do you need a
Okay.
second seashell?
Clip it on the other
Seashell
ear.
headphones?
Shell phones.
is there a way that I can get in between, like, I guess in between Skath and whoever is like closest to them? Like, how close can I get to like everybody in my party? Like, with a 30-foot radius.
Put Dolow in the middle of us.
Yeah, you could kind of
Scooch in there.
duck to the side, or well, fly
Like
to the
Animal
side
Crossing
and
scooch.
still be. You would only have to move up a little, and you would have everyone in your radius.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do that.
Like looking at the...
I guess whichever one looks hurt the worst.
Not
Yeah,
me.
okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your friends.
Yeah,
no,
there's one
just
that's pretty bad.
okay. Then I'm just gonna do the thing. I'm gonna Toll the Dead.
Okay. Oh, wisdom save.
Yep.
You're so bad at those. But that's a natural 20.
Hey,
I'll show you.
Bummer.
we
shoot.
believe you. Don't worry.
I believe you, Em. I believe you.
Oh, that's a nice
It
clear
happens
zero.
it happens so rarely, okay?
That is a nice dice.
I need to show the world when I roll a nat 20.
Show it to
There
me.
needs to be proof.
Show me your D20.
So even with the -2 it gets, it succeeds, I assume.
Yeah. My DC's good, but not that good. So, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna maintain my sanctuary then.
Okay. Inana, it's your turn.
Oh, good. I'm gonna go to Skath.
Okay. Yeah, about 20 feet away.
Yep. I'm gonna stand on the other side of him from what he's attacking. Because I don't want to get in the, like, I'm right behind him.
You don't need an ass full of claws.
No, I know, I'm fragile. And then I'm gonna dig around in my bag and pull out another elixir. Yeah, this one should do. And just kind of like shove it into Skath's back.
Oh. They're gonna say shove it
So
up his
again,
ass.
It shatters. And this like reddish liquid comes out over him. So
Is
I'm
it
gonna do...
aggro?
No, it's cure wounds.
Oh.
Nice.
But because of the way I'm doing it, he also gets the additional heal. So
Additional healing.
you're gonna take 12 healing from the potion.
That's good.
And
So I was closing in on that number.
Skath is moist right now from these potions.
Just like drenching
He's got,
him.
he's got like little bits of glass in his skin. He's like, oh,
And then
Randomly
another
shoving needles in me.
14
Just
from my.
Dang.
ooh, I'll take that.
That's great.
You good? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good
Yeah.
now? Okay, and then I'm gonna back up another 10 feet.
Okay.
Get out of the line of fire.
Great.
If that's the end of your turn, you can choose to take the 17 temporary hit points instead of the one that I previously rolled, because I rolled a 6, so you get 17.
Yeah, I'll take the 17. I had 16, but I'm all for one extra.
There you go.
There you go. Domitanus, it's your turn.
So, not really. I'm kind of feeling myself at the moment. Haven't been hit or anything. Feeling a little invincible. I would like to fly directly at whatever remaining one is closest.
Okay. Let's see.
Super pigeon.
Yeah, there's one right next to you.
Okay.
Flying dive bomb.
Is there a way I can position myself to be flanking on this creature?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
And then as I gonna pull back, and then the feathers on the end of my wing begin to almost turn into like an obsidian, kind of hard glass looking material as I punch this creature. And I'm going to use my
Cool.
thunder gauntlets attached to my guardian armor,
Yeah.
while using booming blade, so I can punch it with booming blade.
He's like an owl scyther.
That's really
So it's a,
So cool. It's so anime.
Right.
but it's also like, so it's going to be a total. It's a D8 of thunder damage for the gauntlet, and then the 2D8 for the booming blade. And if it takes 3D8 at this level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do the attack roll first.
Damn.
Booming blade
Advantage.
pigeon. Oh yeah, I have advantage. Thank
What is it?
goodness.
What's the Pokemon
for
called?
that.
Steelwing, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rolled a 2 and a 14, so thankful for the advantage
Armory.
on that one.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skarmory.
With the 14, that is a 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Yes. All right, let's do it.
This is the one
got-
that's only been hit once, also.
Finish fucking that the fuck up.
So that is 17 plus 5, 22 points of damage on my strike with the booming blade. And
that's how much is
attack number
thunder?
1. Thunder is 8.
8.
It's his first attack.
Sorry, 6.
6. Okay.
6 total. That was attack number 1. Now I just have to boop it a second time.
Hang on.
Just like slice, dink.
Yeah. And back up.
It's 48 though with this one.
It's like when Pegasus
Incredible.
like
It's the two magic items that definitely helped out the party.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so for my second boop, not as good. 18.
That hits. Still.
Okay. For some reason, I still think these things are rocks, even though we've established they're not.
They're very grizzly.
Such squishy rocks.
They're gross.
With my plus 5, that's a 6.
Is it
You punch yourself in the face.
I did.
Slashing-
It ricocheted off of
slashing
that. Mm.
ding.
Slashing or
Very hard boop.
under. What kind of damage is it?
That is thunder.
Under.
Thunder.
My theme song.
Okay.
It's playing in your head.
Oh, I can make it play on a music box. I'm that talented.
I can make it play in my head, in my brain,
Right.
radio.
I think that's Bythra's turn then. You are flanking this creature with Domitanus.
You're still giant.
And you're still
Dom,
driving.
you get 14 temporary hit points if that's higher than what you had last time. I can't remember what I rolled for you.
It definitely is. It was 13, so plus 1
Okay.
more.
Flanking gives me what again? I'm sorry.
Advantage.
Advantage. Okay. I guess so. Initially rolled a 16, 17 plus 8,
That hits.
25. And for the second one. Oh, I'll be damned, that's a fucking nat 20. Damn. Okay. I rolled 9 damage for both of those, but that second one is a critical on my critical range here.
Okay.
There's something that happens. It's like double your damage, but there's something else.
Oh yeah, you get like an extra damage die, I think, because you're
Yeah.
barbarian.
Because I'm raging or something. Advantage on
I have to
Don't
do
forget, you
math.
also get an extra D4 to all the things.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Oops.
I don't think they've ever used that.
Yeah.
I've been just
So
putting the...
all of your weapon attacks get an extra D4 because, you know.
Because you're
make it
big.
Bigger.
Oh. Oops.
Well, it's fine.
I've just been adding the 3 that comes from my rage. So that's an additional 4 damage.
Okay.
An additional 3 damage. So,
Okay.
so that's 22 for the second hit with the crit.
That hits.
You can roll 1 additional weapon damage die when determining the extra damage for a critical hit. Okay, so that's another D8. That's a 6.
So you had 9. Then how much with the enlarge as well?
So 9 plus 4 with that D4.
Okay.
So that was 13. Sorry, buddy. Then the critical hit became 22 plus 3. 25. Okay. And then with brutal critical, I added another damage die with my which was a D8 for my second attack, and that was a 6.
So 31.
Yes.
Damn.
She just comes running over and she's like, yeah.
I was starting to look pretty hurt too. Less than half.
She's like on top of it, knees are up like above her ears, and she's like pulling.
Is that
12
it for
temporary
you?
hit points.
I get 12, you said?
Yeah, if that's the end of your turn, yeah, you get 12 of them.
Next is Skath.
Oh.
Wait, I want to use Infectious Fury again.
Okay.
DC 15, Wisdom save.
Billy Mays here with another thing on my turn.
6.
Okay. 2d12 psychic damage. You're just going to hurt its feelings. 10. Where
It still tastes bad. Wield some sadness.
7. So 17 psychic damage.
Jeez.
And she will say, "This is probably why you don't have friends."
Well, we did
Anymore.
kill them all.
He had to.
Because they're all dead now. Yeah.
They
you're
both
right.
look really bad.
I
really
hope
bad.
you should feel bad. I was mean.
Seems very sad looking.
Yeah.
Just
You
kind
should.
of.
Now I feel bad. Oh no. Rage!
Skath.
All right.
No parents! Anyone get the Lego Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bythra has parents, okay?
They're just
So
Legos
am I
to talk to.
flanking with anybody right now, or am I?
We're
alone
all
with this
surrounding
creature
these
that-
guys, yeah, at this point.
You are not
We're in the infinity symbol.
flanking necessarily, but it's like you and this thing, and it's super freaking hurt.
All right, then I will just continue to slay.
Smash, bash, bone jarring, clash.
16.
Yeah, that hits. Yep.
All right, so how should I continue to roll these separately, or should I start rolling in groups?
Do damage first, and we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, I've just been rolling in groups to speed it up a little bit. Sorry.
That's going to be 10 points of slashing and 7 points of lightning.
You don't like your balloon?
Still up.
Okay.
Barely.
Second attack. It's a 21 to hit.
Mhm.
Nope.
Black space.
Can't see him. He's a void.
It's going to be 7 points of slashing and 1 point of lightning.
Okay. Still up.
Okay.
Dang it!
And 27.
That hits.
Dang
That's
it,
going to
Cletus.
be 14 points of slashing and 3 points of lightning.
That did it. Yeah.
All
I think
right.
you have one more attack. The other one is
Yeah, I
only
do. I
10
still have
feet
one
away.
more. Can I leap to the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Do the final
And
attack.
since there's 2 people flanking it, I will give you advantage on this one because
Even
it's
better.
surrounded.
Come on, let's do that nat 20 this time. Well, nope. 21 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh, that one is gonna hurt though. 11 points of slashing and 7 points of lightning.
Still up.
That's fine.
Just barely.
Yeah, so just pour into whatever this creature was, just 3 gash marks on it, and then leap to the next one and start the process all over again.
Okay.
This isn't even the final boss.
This is
No.
its like final turn because it's no way it's gonna survive another hit.
It rolls a 1 and it hurts itself in its confusion.
Right. This was the one that hadn't used that yet.
How
So
about it tries to run away?
there's 3 of you.
Yeah, it like looks
Got a
around.
D6. Who wants to be 1 and 2? So we got Bythra, Dom,
I'll take a hit.
and Skath.
Come at me,
I'll
bitch.
take high.
You'll take high. Who wants mid?
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
take
I'll do
everything.
Both of
I'll
those?
take it all. I'm the biggest.
Okay, so it's gonna go for Bythra.
This is why you don't have friends. Goosh.
Okay, okay.
Ah!
Oh no, I don't know if it's gonna hit. 15?
Just makes it.
It does.
Mm-hmm. I've got a 15. Actually, hang on. Let me see. I have a thing with my tail. The thing with my tail. Oh, that was a weird noise, sir. Where's my thing with my tail? Because I can make a roll. Hang on, where is it? Fucking hell. What the duck? What the duck, man?
Just when the music goes quiet.
You can't do that.
We're all watching.
Somebody's watching me. If a creature hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to swipe your tail and roll a d8, applying a bonus to your AC equal to the number rolled, potentially causing the attack to miss you. I rolled a 4, so my AC right now with my tail is 19.
So it does not hit you.
Nope. And on a miss,
Do you get to hit it?
I have a thing with a miss with my tail.
Hit it.
I,
Do it.
Gonna tail whip this thing to death.
I can't brain. Oh my god. What is 7 plus 8? It's 15.
That is its AC.
Okay. Oh my god, it's D8 for my tail. 5 plus 4, so that's 9, plus 3 from my rage is 12, plus the D4 from being a big Bythra is 2. So I got the 2. Oh shit, my brain caught. Anybody remember what I said?
What
A
was the
lot.
last
It's
number?
more than it has.
It's
More
a
than
lot
it
of
has.
damage. It tries
It
to
has
hit
2
her,
hit
and
points left.
she's like, parry, thrust. She just turns around. She's like, what? Bam!
So you like
Sarah
take it
says
out and
19.
She does it by accident. Thank you, Sarah.
take it out and it like lands on a sharp rock that like
She's
spears
like,
it
what
in
did
the
you
brain.
say? Bam!
And then the booming
Oh.
blade goes off.
That's right, because it moved. Oh.
Apologies, I forgot to disarm that.
And with that, we're out of combat. No more creatures.
She like looks down at it. She's like, I like being big Bythra.
So I drop concentration. Skath, you're going to be stunned for a minute.
Done. Why?
When you come out of haste, you're stunned.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like float back down.
All the flying
Thanks
people.
for abandoning me between those two, by the way.
You're
What?
fine.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
She like
Is anybody like super hurt?
She like crouches down and she just points at a scrape on her elbow.
I don't want to be that person or anything, but I exited that fight with 14 more health than I went into it with. So I feel okay.
There you go.
Do those expire or do they just stick around until
They last for 10 minutes.
Nice, okay.
Although I will say,
yours-
I think
Do yours
think
go
Big
away or
Bythra's
no?
gonna
You're
be-
temporary.
Oh, with the potion?
Mine stick. There's nothing
Sweet.
that says they expire.
I'll hold on to those.
Just
Oh
making
wait,
sure
no,
none-
mine don't expire. Never mind. My sphere goes away after a minute, but you get to keep your hit points.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey,
I'm going to take out another potion from my bag and be like, here, Bythra, drink this. Or just smash it on yourself. Either one works.
takes it. She's like,
So that is 0 ones.
everything that you ever touch has just got a slight flavor of sulfur.
I know.
It's bitter,
Pull out
spicy.
couple pieces of glass that are still in my fur.
So you're going to take 16,
let me help you with it.
and you have 8 temporary hit points as well.
I'm above max.
Okay,
Great.
well, you still get the 8 temporary.
You said 14 temporary?
8 temporary.
8. What did I get 14 from?
I don't know, because the heal was 16, so I don't know where you got 14 from.
I brain. I am Bythra tonight.
Well, you got 14 temporary hit points from me.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So if you didn't use
Office.
those already, then you don't replace mine.
okay. 14, 6.
Are you continuing to kind of go skirt around?
That was awful. I suppose we shall. Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
I'll be
Skath just
alright.
needs a minute, but he'll be fine.
She picks him up and just starts walking.
Gath looked
He's
like
taller than you.
No, she's 10 feet tall still,
Oh,
unless
that's right.
until the concentration falls or until the spell ends. And
Oh,
even then,
does
she
that
can still
last?
carry him.
True. How long?
I think enlarge is like a minute. It might be
It's a
10.
minute.
I'm gonna check.
As
You,
we're
like, shrink
as we're
as
walking,
you're-
she's like slowly shrink. She just slowly shrinks down, and she's like still got him over her shoulder, and he's like knuckles like dragging on the ground. Oh, sorry, and she just carries him like a bride.
Yep, it's a minute of concentration.
Carries it like a bride.
She shrinks down. She's just like,
I tried to wait till she was occupied doing something before I took it away. She was having too much fun. Didn't want to.
As you're kind of skirting around, I would like everyone to make perception checks.
hi.
What type?
Sight bait?
Any type you want. Just let me know if it's
Okay.
specifically like smell or sound or something like that.
19.
Oh, I mean,
for me.
never mind. I get advantage for all three, so it doesn't matter.
I got a 16.
So
16?
it's very close to being a 20, but it's cocked, and I cannot, in good conscience, take the nat 20 because it's cocked. Yeah, that seems about right. 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
that tracks.
She can't
Aphi,
see
did you
past
already
Scat.
say, sorry?
19.
18? Okay.
11.
11. You're all kind of, you're skirting this, like, basically this giant crater.
She's
You're
just singing.
managing
She's like, Leave
avoid
her, Johnny. Leave
all
her.
these different
Oh, leave her,
like,
Johnny. Leave her.
landmine things.
Hello. Oh, the
And
wireless winds don't blow. Hello. And
I'll say,
to leave her.
Inana notices it first because you're all kind of like scanning. At this point, you know there's like dangerous things here.
Does anybody see
Whatever's
the
going on, you're like on alert.
Rocks that aren't rocks.
I spy with
Yeah.
my little eye. Skath.
You see two things. The first thing you see in the distance as you're kind of curving around this crater are trees.
Are they
Some
trees?
kind of trees.
Okay.
The second thing you see is a mountain of like a form made of smoke coming around the rift, as big as the rift, like the size of a mountain.
Wait, the rift is in front of us again?
It's like to the side.
Oh. I was like,
You're
we
kind
went
of moving
in
around.
two circle. Only half
Wait.
circle wanted.
The thing of smoke is coming around the rift, like it's moving.
It's the black
Well,
smoke
that
monster
can't
from
be good.
Lost.
And so you see trees, and you see this big mountain of smoke, kind of formless. Seems to be coming vaguely in your direction.
What does your fearbulb nose smell, Skath?
He's kind of still in a daze. Did not make a very good score at all. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be like a similar, just kind of mineral smell. Maybe like, like what cave water smells like?
Musty and wet and
Yeah, it's
somehow
kind of like
more
that.
moist.
Like it smells cold,
Bythra's just still
smells
carrying you.
like wet rock,
at this point, he's just dazed on
letting it happen.
letting it
got
happen.
his head.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay my head on your shoulder.
Leave her, Johnny. Leave her.
I mean,
Oh,
if we're
leave
like
her,
worried that we're not
Johnny, leave
like
her.
going in the right direction or something, I can try to reach out for some sort of help.
Well, there is this thing that I just saw. It's this big gray smoky mass that's kind of moving towards us.
Is it going to rain?
I'll
Not
reach
that
out for
kind
help
of
on that too.
cloud, no.
Oh.
So I don't know how you want to address such a thing, but given the last sort of natural occurrence thing that we came across,
Well, there's not really many places to hide.
We can move towards the trees.
yeah, there were trees. We could go.
There are
towards them.
trees?
Right there, and I kind of like grab Bythra's head on either side and like move it.
You see them.
Trees are the bones of the earth.
All right, let's go that way.
Okay.
You start going towards the trees. Getting closer, they look green.
I feel like these aren't going to be trees,
Promising.
but that's just my gut feeling.
Yeah, but
They look green.
possible
I'm
gonna
trees
start-
or
I'm
giant
gonna
smoke
get
monster.
out of the arms of Bythra and
Oh.
walking on my own.
She
at
like
this point.
sets him down and she gives you a pat on the knee. Are you okay?
The
I'll
mountain
be
of
fine.
smoke.
Are you sure? And she like holds up a fish stick for you.
Take the fish stick. and
It's peppery.
As he does, you slowly start to see him shrink back down into the furball, which is still only about 2 feet difference, but
Put extra pepper on
You were
that
just
one.
exhausted after the transformation.
Yeah, my bones hurt.
Yeah, because I can't tell if you look actively wounded, like you didn't receive health, I would address that, but I can't tell if
He's
you're just
just-
tired
No,
from.
He's
He's
just
just-
sleepy.
I mean, he's got a little bit of some wear and tear, but
Haste, coming off a haste is like coming down from a cocaine high.
well, yeah. So he's gonna come down from haste, and then he's gonna come down from lycanthropy, and
It's a whole thing.
Just
It's a whole thing.
Rearrange.
dragging.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Her mandibles and her claws and her tail like slurk back up into her body, and she's like,
It was worse watching them go in than it was coming out.
yeah, that, and she's like, that's what people say. Sorry.
As you're
at least
going
yours
toward
just
the
kind
trees.
of sneak back. You hear all the cracking and crunching of bones.
Yeah.
I return back
Oh,
to form.
Putting your bones back together sometimes. She like reaches down the back of her pants and like adjusts something, and you just hear a crack as her tail, because her tail got caught in the cloth. And she's like, "This is why I always have to mend the seat of my pants."
Posture check. Artemis.
I know that there's a hole back there, but you know, I feel like everybody's seen everybody at this point.
Why are you looking at me?
We all know my butt is blue.
Shut the hell up. You do it too.
As you're going towards the trees, you're still a ways off. The mountain of smoke is definitely coming toward you.
Do you think the smoke will repel any bugs or mosquitoes?
Do I smell smoke, or is this? Do
No.
I know this is not real smoke?
It does not smell like smoke. It doesn't smell like smoke or fire.
Cave wet, right? It's cave and wet, right?
It's like... Make a nature check. We'll say that. Or Arcana,
Ability I
question
don't-
mark?
Okay.
How do I have advantage on this?
Just for
Oh,
shits
is
and
it?
giggles,
It's
I
not
could cast
Fey,
Divine
Fiend, or
Intervention.
Undead, is it?
Damn.
Save that
It's
for something that we
not,
actually need.
but I'll... It's not
18 minus
technically.
2, 16.
It's actually pretty good.
I know. I was not expecting
That's a
that.
3.
It's just
You're not really
That's
sure
not
what
really-
this is.
That's
It's not made
really
of
my thing.
smoke. Bythra, as you're kind of like, they're pointing it out to you, you're talking about like this mountain of smoke. You're kind of looking at it and you're like, it's that like common sense kind of thinking, or like the obvious thing almost.
like something just like
you,
clicks into place.
you say it as if it's obvious. It's not smoke. Darkness. It's just
It's-
darkness.
It's not smoke. Someone turned the dark on.
And there's like
That can't be good.
little
No.
green like ember looking things in the smoke.
It's wispy.
As it starts to get closer toward you, you can feel, like, in your mind, you can feel its attention on you.
How close is it?
Still a couple 100 feet off.
I make a persuasion check for it to communicate with me. When in doubt, 17 plus 1, 18!
Communicate with the darkness.
Hello!
Okay.
She's like yelling in primordial.
As you kind of greet this cloud of darkness, the size of a mountain with flecks of green glowing embers floating through its body, it looks down upon you
It
as creatures that clearly don't belong in this place. And
I
it
think
kind
anybody
of
belongs here.
well, you've seen what belongs here. belongs here. It sort of starts to like shift as if it was like smoke being blown into like a glass bottle, but there's no bottle there.
Uh-huh.
And you start to see a head form,
Hello?
and some of the embers concentrate toward the top as eyes. shoulders seem to form, and long tendrils extend out. They look kind of like arms.
This the Pyros dude.
Hi.
You assume it is trying to give you a familiar form to view in an attempt to make you less uncomfortable,
See you.
but it's massive. It is huge. This creature is ginormous. So feeling comfortable around it, not really a thing.
Bythra's too
Um,
dim-witted to not understand that.
Hello.
I'm 2.5 feet tall.
you,
Can I help
Um,
you?
Dolow, do you say out loud something about it being like Pyraddys?
Yeah, I just kind of lean over to everybody. I'm like, is this the Pyraddys?
When you say that, when you even think it,
Oh, no.
these green ember eyes look directly at you, and it kind of like takes one step forward, and it's almost next to you. It kind of shifts itself down so the smoke like spreads out across the
Not many things
landscape.
bigger than me, but this is a little frightening.
I think you may have insulted them. They're sorry. Because I
Is
said
it-
so.
As it looks down at you,
Hello. I'm Bythra.
it kind of like tilts its head like a dog when someone's talking to it.
To be
But
fair, the
it's-
rest of the party is standing behind Bythra with
Yeah.
the same expression.
With the same expression.
If it was looking at me, I have a feeling I'm standing next to Bythra then.
Yeah. Okay. It's
Hi.
similar to those little orbs. You get like thoughts, emotions.
She starts thinking real hard.
There's not like words.
Nothing in there.
Danger here?
You actually, I'll let everyone make an insight check. Make it with advantage because it is now like telepathically connected to you in some
That's what I don't want to hear.
degree.
Telepathically
16. The first
19.
roll was a 2, a 3, and the second roll was a 15 plus 1, 16 for the insight.
15.
19, 15,
21.
21,
11.
11. You start to get these feelings from it, rolling off it like smoke, almost like what it's made of. I cracked myself. And it's like it's looking at you, and at first it's like confused. What are you? Who are you? Why are you here? How did you get here? And in the same instant that that it thinks those things, you think about the memories of passing through the portal. Think about like memories before that of being in the city, of being stepped out.
Bythra will even like shape water to make these images because you can do that with shaped water.
Okay. Amazing. You get a feeling of immediate concern from this creature.
Yes. Bad.
It has
Don't go home.
been tasked with guarding whatever this place is, this border area where different planes separate out. It's supposed to be guarding this so that people don't get in and get hurt, so that creatures don't get out and hurt people. And so
We kind of got yeeted in here.
so that the balance of this place is not disturbed.
Bythra like looks up at the rolling stones and the columns of fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you start to feel these thoughts formulating in this creature's mind that as powerful as it is, as large as it is, it's not enough.
Is it having an existential crisis right now?
Kind of.
I mean, aren't we all?
I mean, always, all the time.
Sometimes you're not big enough to pull the catch in, and that's okay.
And
Sometimes
you
the
get
catch was meant to stay swimming.
a lot of information all at once.
Ow.
At this region, this border realm, is called the Disquiet. It's where the inner planes separate out from one another. So the Shadowfell, the Feywild, and all of the elemental planes are separating out through that rift that you came through. And this creature is the Soul Guardian. As he peers down at you, this mass of darkness and light, Pyraddys, yes, that is who this is, realizes in an instant that while he cannot do this on his own, he also recognizes in you strength, power, and resilience. The things that allowed you to survive this journey and that have allowed you to survive this place. Without a sound, he raises you all up together into the sky in front of him, focusing on each of you in turn. Bythra, as you are making shapes and images in water, your connection to the element of water is in no way hidden. And as he focuses on you, he takes something of who you are, because after all, who you all are is what got you here and helped you survive that journey. And you can feel him transforming you. Your body becomes translucent and fluid water. And one by one, he does the same to each of you. Inana, with your proficiency in creating and utilizing things that burn, both acid and flame, your body forms flecks of green embers similar to the ones in this creature before igniting into a blazing humanoid bonfire. Skath,
I understand what you were talking about earlier.
You guys made this so perfect for me. Skath, as he turns to you, he senses blood and iron. And your skin begins to harden into stone. Domitanus, he looks to you and sees your wings, a flying protector with the power of thunder, and he dissolves you into a ferocious, spiraling whirlwind crackling with static electricity. And Dolow, he sees the starlight in your eyes, something that does not exist in this place. But he grows it out of your eyes and into your being until you are nothing but starlight. You all feel alive, but you also feel a new sense of duty impressed on you by this enormous being. You will help him guard these planes and this portal as the first elemental beings forever.
We're basically gods.
Oh, man.
Basically.
I don't know if I accept that responsibility. Dario's gonna no wonder where I am. How am I supposed to explain this to my mom?
Your water. You can guide him through the water.
Not while I'm stuck in here. I don't know where he is. He went exploring. Is my brother here?
We can
Nope.
talk to you.
Nope.
Damn it.
Now, while you wouldn't know this, back somewhere in Benkar on the island continent of Olynis in the city of Ulfrey, a group of priests have been waiting and watching the horizon. They hoped and prayed to the gods for 2 weeks, watching the lights, having their visions, until you went through the portal. That single event, that one moment, created a release of energy so powerful that bright light filled the sky even as far north as Ulfrey. And the blast sent out ripples of matter and energy, forming new celestial bodies. Silvery blue planetary rings in the skies above Benkar. After that, their visions pause for days, weeks, and then take a turn. Perhaps what was once only ether-mead-fueled hallucinations full of hope and whimsy, and perhaps a bit of archfey trickery, are now truly being guided by a being of pure starlight. Images of darkness, fear, pain, and grief reach the minds of these leaders as a warning. The heroes are lost. Send no more ships. And that is where we're going to end our game.
Damn it!
Yeah, way to go, Emily.
That
was
was
cool.
so good.
I loved it.
Oh my god. Can you like run a campaign? Like just put that out there.
I
'cause
mean,
the one shots make me fucking thirsty.
That's why they're so good. That's why they're great as one
I
shots.
know, I know.
because I spent a month
I like
writing one
doing
adventure
I like doing
playing.
series of one shots within the same universe, or like having them interconnected. So like I understand that. Oh, this is caused by. Oh, that's our fault, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm telling you right now that if we do a second P5 campaign, I'm stealing the Aurora thing.
Heck yes. So
Like, just
Okay.
a little bit.
for that, because I've been like world building for a couple months, and
Well,
I thought it was cool that like those charts that you see of like the magnetic poles and the way the magnetic fields flow around the earth.
Mhm.
I was like, what if in D&D that was how the inner planes worked? So like just outside the material plane is a layer of the Shadowfell and the Feywild, which were the trees that you saw. You were getting close to the
Mhm.
Feywild, which is also probably the visions that people saw. And then above that were the elemental planes forming around it.
Have you ever seen the map that Forgotten Realms does with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the outer planes and
It's
stuff,
very
yeah.
similar to that
Yeah.
because of the
Yes.
very thin
Very cool.
right beforehand. No, it's very fantastic. And
Thank
now
you
you have
so much, Emily.
random
Yeah, that was awesome.
guardians that you can use in your adventure from all of us.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now I'm just imagining
So much depth.
the sound of the ocean finally grew louder
Yeah.
because it was Bythra. She's just like.
I wonder how we accidentally like lined that up. That made sense with all of our
Yeah.
characters and
For
everything.
real?
Kismet,
Well,
man.
even like
It's meant to
today
be.
when you were like, I'm going to be an artificer and I'm going to be an armor artificer. And I was starting to look at it and it was like lightning, thunder. Yes.
I'm
thank
glad I
you.
went with Bythra
Thank you.
because I was going to be a
If you
filthy
knew what I was
nasty
trying
bard.
to do.
I was going to
Fantastic.
be a filthy nasty bard, so I'm glad I went with Bythra.
Oh, Bard was number 2 for me as well.
Yeah,
But I love talking
I-
characters.
I haven't
So.
played a bard in a while, so you know. But that was cool.
Thank
But
you.
Bythra is a little
You did a
like,
great
oh, I
job,
don't know.
Em.
I'm not sure I'm ready for all this responsibility. I can barely keep track of my finances. It takes me 6 hours to do my books after one day of business.
Y'all are now part of the
Got my
creation
one
myth of
dramatic
Benkar,
face
so
face
that's
zoom in
awesome.
there. We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
She was gonna, like, if we made it to the tree, she in her inventory she has insect repellent salve, and she was gonna start smearing it on all of us. She's like, I don't know if there's gonna be mosquitoes in here.
Just like right down the front of the face, like.
Yep. You
Very
should wear
nice, Bythra.
sunscreen.
Mosquitoes. Those would be some mean mosquitoes.
Yeah, they would be. Well, thank you everyone for coming and playing Emily's wonderful one shot. Emily, thank you so much for an amazing job, and
Thank you.
you know, just
That was so
totally worked out that we all accidentally made these characters with we didn't communicate with one another about
Nope.
it. We didn't
No.
indicate what we were playing until it was already rolled. And Emily gave us no direction regarding the elements other than like these are the gods of your like who you believe in.
It's almost
So,
time, buddy. It's almost time.
The fact that it
Cats and
worked
things.
out, freaking amazing. So Emily, tell us about you. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Emily. I wrote this game. I made this world. Feel free to use it. You can get some of my one shots on Ko-fi, whatever the heck it's called. And I have an Instagram and stuff where I post pictures sometimes, and I paint miniatures. Yeah, I love D&D. I love games in general. It's very fun. And thank you for letting me do this.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if it was horror, but it was fun.
It was awesome. It was great. Cedar, who are you?
I'm Cedar the Barefoot. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch, as well as all kinds of other social media. I usually just talk shit on my Twitter, but that's neither here nor there. Follow me on Instagram to see sporadic pictures of my cat, who is sitting right here in my lap, desperately browing because it's time to go sheepy sheep. We'll be here. I'll be on Game Prepper Die.
Game of Thrones.
Prepper
No.
There
Die
you go.
tomorrow.
Yeah, but what's
Goodman Games.
Goodman Games. Thank you. Sorry, I thought I was on DM Jeremy's thing, but we're on Goodman Games tomorrow for Prepper Die, in which a bunch of us DMs get together. We're given prompts, and then we have to come up with a one shot lickety split. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna be on for Thirsty Thursday because we didn't stream much from my account this week. We'll be on for Thirsty Thursday. We're playing Dream Daddy. Who we going after? I don't know, but they ask gonna be nice. Oh shit. We're probably gonna play something tomorrow during the day too, so I'll be around. Thanks for having me. I'll be doing a one shot here on the Vactair on the 29th of October. The Silence of Skegmore.
Yeah.
Some of the players are here with us right now.
Yes, we are.
Prepare, for this may end in a TPK.
It's
I
fine.
thought this one was going to. I made it like beyond deadly, and y'all still.
We had a lot of
Correct 'em.
like movement capability and the flying and stuff, so that kind of probably fucked you a little
And
bit.
I don't think any of us
other.
were expecting big Bythra.
No.
Right?
You start breaking out stuff like reduce and large and haste, and you actually start like funneling things towards individual party members.
I know, like we were like,
It's fun.
we were
Not to
buffing each
mention you
other.
had
It was
literally
great.
you had two monsters
Yeah.
in the party between the werewolf and the
Yeah. The mandible, creepy fish,
yeah,
fish
Mothra.
merchant.
Oh yeah.
Tabletop Misfits. Who are you guys? What are you doing on my channel?
Oh,
Who are you?
we are.
Who us?
Walk my lawn.
We are Tabletop Misfits. We are a D&D streaming channel over on Twitch as well. Wednesday nights we do wonderful guest speakers every week with different ones. We talk about D&D. We talk about how you can improve your games and make your games more enjoyable, and how to make amazing content like these amazing people have done. And then on Sundays we do our live stream. This week we're off. However, starting in 2 weeks, we are picking up a new story. We're going to start playing in Middle Earth. So if you want to see the One Ring RPG played on a stream, come hang out with us Sunday nights at 9 p.m. And you can find us on all the fun social media things for under Tabletop Misfits. So.
Yeah. Artemis.
We do enjoy making appearances as well. So if you need
We do.
players,
Yeah.
please let us know. This was a blast, guys. If you ever need anything, please, by all means, let us know.
Sounds good. Artemis.
Yeah, so I'm Artemis. I'm the social media manager and content coordinator for the Vactaire and Aphi's personal assistant. And I'm just kind of always here. I don't really ever leave anymore.
Galaxy
I run
Face Extraordinaire.
So cool.
That was really cool today, Nah.
This month has been like a lot of trusting the process with my makeup. It's been a lot of learning.
This is awesome. Like
It is
I have to
awesome.
say,
That
amazing.
like galaxy
Yeah.
mask is like.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good today.
I love that you got it all over your cat. Your cat got it all over her face.
Yeah, pasta's like that sometimes.
Did she like rub her face against yours or something?
I was literally holding a makeup brush in my hand to go like put more blue on, and she just went with her forehead. I'm like, ma'am.
She's like, me too.
Yeah.
I would also like to be a galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I look
when I see
pretty,
you in
she's
March.
like-
I meant pasta.
Oh,
she also
okay.
wanted to be a galaxy. And I'm Aphi. Hi. If you don't know who I am, I'm sorry.
She does all the work.
I do not do all the work. I have Artemis to help me do some of the work.
And you should change that.
I do a lot of the organization here. Oh, Emily.
I'm so sorry.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh, I don't need to play the music anymore.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got something. I'll just share it. It's fine.
This is what my
Don't
hat looks
worry.
like.
So I do all of our layouts, all of the graphics. I am also the Monday Night DM for our Mistwalkers game, which is another horror/thriller campaign that I'm running in the Domains of Dread.
I need a blank picture of that meme that you made out of my face, so that way we can use it for other things.
Yeah, that was. I
Yeah.
didn't make that actually. I think Jeremy made that, or maybe
Oh.
Rob. I can't remember.
It's fine.
Either way,
She hit us with a bombshell last week and then said we weren't playing this week for Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we were off
How
this
dare you
week.
celebrate the harvest at a reasonable date?
You mean around the harvest?
Yeah.
Shocking.
How dare
Wow.
you guys make sense of this?
Sorry that we have our fake capitalistic holidays that were made out of lies and peacekeeping.
And we cooked our turkey using Celsius.
Come get your stupid Cobra chickens.
No, the Cobra chickens are staying.
Does that make it healthier or less?
As you may see from this layout, this is Spooktober for Extra Life. We have a whole bunch of shit happening this month. So, like, 26 live plays, 10 different DMs, and we're ending it on the 5th with a 12-hour dungeon crawl that is drop in, drop out for anybody who wants to participate. There is information on our Discord regarding that, so join our Discord, come check it out. It's in announcements. And it is to raise money for Extra Life, which is a Children's Miracle Network organization. They basically raise funds for pediatric wards across the US and Canada for really necessary equipment and
Look at this
like
leg.
gaming stuff. It's pretty cool. But go check them out and donate to one of our team DMs if you got some extra cash. That'd be really great. What?
He's got his chicken leg in the
Oh,
air.
I didn't even see that. I just saw. Okay.
I can't.
And last but not least, our sponsor for tonight's episode was Canadian Dice. You can get a whole bunch of amazingly sourced dice as well as hand-poured resin dice. The D4s will stab you and they will hurt. So go check out Canadian Dice and use the code TheVactaire, all one word. You can get 10% off of your dice order. Stick around for the raid, everybody. We want to push it forward to our community and the D&D community because it's always nice to get like new people in your stream. So stick around and we'll see you next time.
Stay well, Guru Joe.
Yay.
Bye.